intuition. I got bars and ink, but never in a prison. Too far gone, never gonna sit and listen. This is optimism mixed with the best, you get it. What you're seeing is a beast in the flesh, I'm vetted up. I don't need to try to speak for the rest. Always keep it abrupt, they wanna keep it a mess, you know. This is what you get when you're sitting as a vet. But everybody know that you're a threat. With the rest, let's go. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit in your box. No, we don't quit, we won't stop. No, ride us all to the top. Whoa. We won't fit in your box. No. Look, I try to tell you we don't fit in your box. Why you try to box me and I got the key to unlock? I know the locksmith, optics, speak of the loss. I'm eating lobster, chopsticks, freaking the boss, you know. I'll never fit in where I go at. Ooh, boss talk like I'm Boaz. Ooh, why fit in when you know you can stand out still? They remember you more when you hand out deals. Let's go. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit in your box. No, we don't quit, we won't stop. No, ride us all to the top. Whoa. We won't fit in your box. No. Don't box me in. I do my own thing. Spirit is right within. I got my own way. Violent is not within. Look at the way that I do my ops again. Oh, better let me loose. You know that I got the juice. Everything I got to do. Words that I speak out my mouth, I gotta move. Oh, oh, we can't fit in your box. We too cold to get yours. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit in your box. No, we don't quit, we won't stop. No, ride us all to the top. Whoa. We won't fit in your box. No. Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Son of Augustine. Let's go.
up, everybody? It's Hot Jukes here with Enigma. We're getting started with day 2 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open. The thumbnail said it best, right? It said specifically that there's no time for mistakes, and that couldn't have said it better myself. Bro, we're getting into day 2. Top 8 is the goal, man. How are you feeling getting into day number 2?
I'm feeling good. I'm not sure about some of these other teams, though, that are competing in this because, I mean, we're dealing with 15 teams. We've already seen the established teams prove themselves by being at the top after day 1. But day 2, I'm hoping that these lower-end teams, the middle of the pack teams that are needing the points because all the elimination points got took up by the top 4 teams. Hopefully, they're able to add some to their own little playbooks here today and, start moving up the leaderboard.
100%. Which team do you guys think is going to be able to move up the leaderboards? I want to know which is your dark horse squad coming into today. Make sure you follow all the socials and make sure you use that hashtag PMCO. Easy retweet, guys. Let's go ahead and get that conversation going. So, you mentioned it, right? Top teams are soaking up points like crazy. And in a little bit, we'll get into some information I got on some of the top squads. So I'm really interested to get into that. But at the end of the day, it is top 8. The fact that this was a 16-team tournament, we did end up missing one squad. So there's 15 playing here. 12 matches. We are already 2. This is so important right here, right? Because you want to make sure that you can get into that next stage. And for these squads, it's their last chance here, Enigma.
Yeah, I mean, the last chance qualifier, the name speaks for itself. And with these teams, I mean, the first day is always, like a feeler position. Like, you're testing the water, seeing if you're hot or cold with the strategy you want to bring in. And these teams that are near the top, they're doing something right. Hopefully, these middle of the pack, lower end teams are able to maybe either analyze what's making them perform better than you, or maybe even counteract the plays they're doing, because even if you're able to take a big dog out of the lobby like that, that means other teams are able to take those elimination points, those placement points, and start shooting themselves up the leaderboard.
Hey, speaking of big dogs, right? Let's go ahead and remind everybody what's on the line here. Top 8 is obviously the goal, but there's some solid cheddar here available. Look at that, nice. $6,000 for first place. I'm telling you, for PMCO, that is solid. I think that's why we see some, more well-known North American teams in here. Second place, $4,000. Third place, $2,500. And, some good pocket change for everybody else going down the line. So top 3, there's definitely a big difference when it comes to prize pool. So I think that's where we're going to see a lot of teams really hunt down. Here's the schedule for today. We're starting off in Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, and then finishing it off in Erangel. Man, so Enigma, I kind of want to get into a little bit about what I was alluding to earlier, okay? I got the chance to talk to one of the big boys here in North America, Joey, the legend himself. And he got to give me a little bit of insight what was going on, because we saw one player's name that we didn't really recognize, so he was able to hit me up and give me a little bit of the scoop of what's going on. So that player is in fact 24, okay, right?
Okay,
that is just his name in Arabic, right?
So that's pretty sweet.
So he wasn't, so that's just pretty cool. They unfortunately, they were not able to change their roster for PMCO. So the case is we're going to see a new YKG roster in the future, okay? Which is
hopefully
huge, right?
Good.
I'm really interested to see, how that's going to work out. But so that is what's going to happen there in the future for them. But he said, hey, you know what? I've noticed that a lot of North American teams here do not take the off season well, right? They don't put in the work. They don't get things done. So he said, you know what? I'm ready to go, put in some work. We'll come down to PMCO, get all the practice that we can get, and just have fun, because this roster isn't going to be together for very much in the future. But, hey, there's $6,000 on the line, right? So, like, hey, why don't we go get some money, right? Well, and put in some work in the meantime. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, get the bread. I mean, it's not like you guys are at each other's throats or stuff like that. You still all enjoy playing the game. You know what's on the line. Hey, it's not something do or die situation, maybe like PMPO Americas and stuff like that. This is PMCO. You know the talent, your skill sets, and you can apply them for a bit extra cash. And it's like you said yourself, there's some good money on the line here. I'd like to see more of these teams that are, maybe passion fruit or stuff like that, where they're PMPL rosters that are not as much established in terms of, the longevity they've played together. And this is just, maybe just mispractice in my eyes that teams like YKG are actually capitalizing on.
100%. Let's take a look at the overall leaderboards to see where everybody is sitting at right now. Remember, top 8 is the goal, $6,000 for first place. And the team right now looking the best is going to be 412 Nomads with 45 points. But yeah, but not to mention, there's still quite a few teams that are pretty much on their heels here.
Yeah, I mean, the leaderboard itself, these top 4 teams, obviously we see it's roughly a 7-point spread, 45 to 38. YKG is obviously up there, and the 3 out of 4 of them are established teams, my eyes, with YKG, C4, and Nomads being up there. But these teams near the bottom side of it, one team I actually enjoy seeing is Jerway's fan club, obviously with the name, but I was looking at the numbers yesterday, Jukes, and every single match that they played, they were wiping at least one squad. That's 4 elimination points over the course of 4 games. That's 16. Some of them they had, 5 elimination points. But in my eyes, if you're winning at least a squad fight, it's showing that you're doing something right. It's just later on in the match, you're maybe not making the right rotate, or you're not fighting correctly afterwards. But there is that moment where, hey, we're doing something right. Let's just try to keep it 100% throughout the match.
Heck yeah, and I'll tell you what, all these teams are going to be fighting for their lives here because, $6,000 for 3 days of work. And not to mention, this is 4 matches, right? So it's not like they're only getting $6,000 for, 4 or 5 weeks of gameplay. This is 3 days, right? So, I mean, a good solid prize pool here. 412 Nomads, definitely a more experienced squad coming into here. I like the fact that they are keeping that same roster. So we definitely see that flourish a little bit. But today is that day, I think, for so many of these teams. Not just to mention the squads at the top, because obviously we're going to see who's going to try to get that $6,000, but also the teams that are hunting down that top 8, right? That's what's really important to see which squads are going to go to the grand finals. And the teams that are on the bottom, Enigma, right? Do you think that we're going to see one of them pop off here today?
Well, my guess would be Black Mamba. We've seen what they've done in Titan series and stuff like that. PMPL, NA, and it's, they have the talent. They have a few remaining players from the old roster. I'm not sure if it's just not their day yesterday, and hopefully today they pop off. But them, along with Blue, Tiam, and Saturn Esports, you and I were both looking at them, talking about them. Hey, who do we think is going to outperform each other? And right now, neither of them are performing well enough to reach top 8. So I'd like to see them as well move up, at least in a contention for the top 8. Luckily, that 15th through 9th place is roughly 6 or 8 points, and then 8th place is just a few points above that. So a lot of growth and a lot of potential for teams to move up the leaderboard still on today's standings. But if you're not doing well today and yesterday, tomorrow is really going to be rough for you.
100%. I think that those squads at the bottom, honestly, it's just one game, right? If they just get one really good game in here, we'll see them in that top 8. So it's still everybody has an opportunity, right? The door's open for all these squads, so it shouldn't really be a big trouble for them. I think the big thing is going to be nerves for a lot of these squads that are, new to PMCO. It's tough to get past that, especially coming off of a really bad day. And it happens, right? You're always going to have some bad days in tournaments. You can't just be perfect all the time, right? But I think the big sign of a team that's going to have growth is the ability to talk to each other, right? And just say, hey, let's shake it off, right? Let's shake it off. Let's play our game and have some fun. Because if these guys are just able to get into that end zone, get some good solid points, they should be able to make it to the grand finals, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to maybe you have that person in your team that's more of a level-headed individual, someone that doesn't let the emotions get to them in-game and, in between the matches. So hopefully, you're able to have someone that you can turn to that's, maybe I'm panicking or maybe I'm just not knowing what to do. Can you help me? And they, clear all the minds. Everyone starts almost getting enlightened by this person just talking normally, calmly. And for them, I mean, for me at least, I felt I was that player on my previous team. So being in that sort of position where you're able to keep a calm mindset, reset everyone's mentals, and perform well just because you're there and present. I mean, teams like N-Hyper and stuff like that with Zfont, there's a lot of names that could be thrown out there where I feel like just them being there is more than possibly any sort of fragger could be. So in my eyes, if you have someone like that that's able to calm the nerves and stuff like that, it reaps rewards tenfold.
Well, let's see who's going to get that reward at the end of the day here. We're about to kick off game number 1, and we're heading into Erangel. So, hey, sometimes you got to keep your heads cool. But I know, Enigma, that you've played with some players and some IGLs that when things get tough, yell louder. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, yelling, I mean, for the most part, it's getting your point across. Maybe someone's just not listening. Obviously, you pick up the
Ah,
antics of some of your previous teammates that are like, hey, maybe if they're smoking, like one huge component for me was Tensa of all players. Back before he was on Ghost and stuff like that, he was on Team Totality. I would have to tell him time and time again, use the smoke grenades. And when he had gone on a tempo storm, I told him, you need to use smoke grenades. And then 6 months later, he messages me, thanks to you, pounding that into my head, I'm starting to use my utility a lot more. He picked up a lot more frags using frags and stuff like that. Obviously, every player's gun skill at that level is going to be insane. But if you're able to use the utility, it just one-ups you above the rest of the competition. So hopefully some of these teams have players like that where it's, you're able to start picking up antics and reminding them mid-game, hey, maybe let's not peek that angle. Maybe let's not drive a certain way. Hey, maybe let's not just go off on our own and do something weird, So
100%. I love that, man. Hey, yeah, you know what? Why are you yelling? It's because they're not listening. You know what I'm
they're
saying? Like
not listening.
if they would just listen, I wouldn't have to yell, right?
Yep.
Heck, you never know. You never know. And you know what the crazy thing is that that's the hard part about a game like this, right? Because it's not just
Yeah.
one individual person and a coach. It's four players, and
Yep.
well, I'll tell you what, all these players are gonna have to get moving as we take a look at this first circle, heading pretty deep into the water here. So teams like YKG and Primorsk, they're just big chilling. 412, the top squad in the lobby, they are set up pretty as well. So this is gonna be a really interesting zone for these squads.
Yeah, I mean, YKG is really just, putting their hands together, looking up at the PUBG god, saying thank you, because they're a team where I could see them hold an insane spread on the map. They know that no one really has dropped around them, so they have a lot of time to move on. But someone that we saw yesterday fighting, Four Bros and Black Mamba in Rozhawk of all places still. So I would have liked to see them, give up maybe the fight, Black Mamba and Four Bros. But obviously, they're sticking to their guns. They're saying, hey, let's just win this first 4v4, and then let's move on to, across the map, unfortunately, this game to Primorsk.
Yeah, let's see how they do it, man. One thing that's interesting, so Joey did talk to me, and he did mention that Fears is going to be stepping away from the squad going forward after this, right? So we're going to see some
Yeah.
roster swaps. So, one thing I want to see is, first off, I love the fact that the team still has so much respect for each other that, even if you
Yeah.
have a player that's going to be not there, he's still willing to play in a tournament, right? Still willing to play some tournament, have some
100%.
fun, get some money. That's a good sign, right? That there's good,
Yeah.
there's at least good mental health in the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so I like to see that. I am going to be questioning, that when I hear that, it always puts a little bit of a question mark in my mind, thinking, okay, what is Fears going to do here? Is Fears going to be
Mm-hmm.
just done? Is he retiring? Or is he going to just, have fun, try to put some money in the bank, but also could use this as an opportunity to, frag out and make a name for himself a little bit more? I mean, besides how much of a name he's already made, you know what I'm saying? As we take a look
Yeah,
at this,
and I mean, a lot of it.
look at this.
Ooh! Pre-fire.
Got him.
Unknown, unfortunately, being the first eliminated on his squad. Black Mambas, it looks like they had a coup set up, but couldn't go and save the fourth player. Hopefully, they just back out and leave. I don't like the idea of playing with, a three-man and stuff like that off the rip, but at this point, it's better than dying as a duo. So we're going to see him, just do a little bit of car stack and take a little stroll down memory lane, hopefully, to the no-name boat sort of area. But obviously, a lot of these teams are starting to feel the pressure of the lobby. And this map too, Erangel is the map that everyone, knows and recognizes, and everyone essentially just knows the nooks and crannies of it. So hopefully these teams are able to just play their standard way, whatever has been making it work for the previous day and for the previous portion of the tournament that we haven't been able to see, and start to apply it here today.
100%. We're going to look at Your Ways fan club over here by Hospital. Everybody trying to get looting pretty quickly because this is an interesting circle for sure. So it's not the most fortuitous one for a lot of these teams. So good thing for Your Ways is that they're not too far off the beaten path, right? They're just in Hospital. So all they got to do is just go ahead and rotate on south. So they got a little bit more time than some of these other squads. But, looking at the lobby, you have Twisted Militia pretty far away. You have the Finest Four all the way up near Yasnaya. C4, Four Bros. Man, a lot of squads are not in the zone yet.
Yeah, I mean, the map itself, obviously it's first zone. A lot of the map is in the water, unfortunately. So maybe we'll see a boatation or something. That'd be kind of cool. Just kind of stay out in the edge of the map and wait for the zone to close and slam maybe
Ooh.
into Ferry Pier or Primorsk. But a lot of these teams taking their time rotating in. I'd like to see these teams that actually drop towards George Pole and stuff like that come along this western road side of the map, and come into YKG to try to fill the space. Because right now I'm looking at the map, it's 4-12 in YKG. The two, standards of play, the bar that's been set by these teams, holding virtually 90% of the zone right now. So would like to see that sort of start to shrink. People start pressuring each other. And as I'm saying that, Four Bros getting pressure from C4 now. I believe they're the team that dropped School, picking off Leon down to just one, if not two players. And it's not looking good. And I heard news actually, Jukes, that it is Leon
Ooh.
from
Okay.
Wildcard Enigma Fan Club. He had played on some Nepali teams as well. He came back to NA, and I told him, hey, is this you? Yeah, it is me. And I said, you need to start putting in the training room again, because this is not looking that good for you.
Oh man, come on, Leon, let's go. It's so crazy to see some of the legends of old come on back
Yeah.
here, and you can just see how much the game has just changed overall as we see
Oh, yeah.
C4 getting the better of Four Bros right there. Once again, man, I tell you what, Four Bros has been getting into a lot of early engagements, and they've just been getting punished time and time again. And who was it that just went out?
I think it was Leon himself on Four Bros. So it's just Lori now. He has the one elimination point. Wasn't onto a C4 player, thankfully, but C4 I think has a bit of a rough idea. Maybe not. Looks like Psych is just going to be chilling on his own up on top of the mountain, trying to scout, see if he sees any sort of movement, through the buildings, through the shadows, I guess you could say. But for the most part, a lot of these teams now starting to actually opt into rotating through Rosshawk. So it's a little bit of a questionable thing by me, knowing that teams drop here and fight. Always driving by this is a little bit of a death sentence in my eyes. But thankfully, for the finest four, they're not getting punished too hard by it. Just gonna make this little measly stroll on by and start rotating in the zone, because we saw it on the map all the way out by Primorsk.
All right, well, let's see. Let's see some of these rotations go down here. As everyone's just trying to head on down to the southwest side here. You can see the finest four rocking that 4-vehicle strategy, just checkpointing little by little. I like to see that.
The
You
buggies.
never know if there's going to be a team on top of a hill, so I like the fact that they're just playing it, a little carefully, especially coming through ruins here, just trying to find their spot. So far, so good on the rotations for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, and I feel like they're even one of the teams that has made the rotation pretty early compared to some of the other ones. We can see on the map for everyone to see, of course, right now, Level X themselves opting to rotate right into the 4-12 spread. Hopefully they don't lose anyone there. Actually, looks like they might be taking an engagement with Crow, one of the top fraggers for 4-12 right now. Hopefully we're able to see them. And right now, the map itself, I didn't think it was going to look this congested, but wow, YKG gets the shift away from them, goes right centered onto old gangsters holding this little ferry pier compound. And all these teams, I'd like to see them maybe opt to rotate around the zone and start filling in these compounds, but it looks like some of these teams are about to fight on the edge.
100%. So let's go. Let's see what's going to happen here as we watch the action start to heat up. You can see Gerway's fan club going to have to start heading down south after that shift. That definitely makes things interesting. And we're going to start seeing some shots ring out. This is over here by Pachinki. And look at that, man. We're starting to see some action as, yep, Nox coming out back from fourth as we see Manic holding these shots. I always have a question mark seeing a play like this, because I think they definitely need to start prioritizing circle before they start really making themselves too... Right now, it's just like a red flag. They're just throwing up a big old flare saying, hey, I am wide in the open. Take me out.
Well, I think it might be worth, because it is the first zone or two. A lot of it comes down to, are you able to stop maybe 100, 200 meters before a team and catch them off by shooting them from the zone? Maybe 21st Century, we didn't get to see it too well. 21st Century maybe just stopped in the open and was healing, and they took the shots then. But Manic opting to take the fight. They do have 2 eliminations to their names. 21st Century opting to just rotate towards that little bridge compound on the south side of the zone. Manic obviously, take their time looting. And hopefully for them, they hopefully will be scouting where 21st Century goes, because if they stay on the edge, you already know that squad's down to 2 players. you're able to possibly take that engagement, that sort of fight, and, you know, find yourself into the zone, because I see it as there's more impactful eliminations than others. Early in the game, you know, you're getting a point or two, unless it's for a center zone spot, it's great. But if you're not really getting the eliminations when you're needing to rotate into the zone, it's really just hindering you. And even though it saves you for the position, it's kind of like Jerway's fan club, where they get some elimination points to salvage the game, but they're not getting it for the placement points later on in the game. So hopefully these teams can start picking up elimination points when it really matters most. But Saturn Esports going for a bridge camp right now. Unfortunately, not getting the knock on the dart. Wow, let's put a note in that dart. Getting out of 1 HP. Looks like he's going to stay alive, but Saturn Esports hopefully takes the aggression up on a T4-0.
Yes, here we go. Now we're going to start seeing some action. Toxic for Life kind of stuck out here right now. That buggy's pretty beat up as well, so Jess is going to have to find a different way to get out of here. He can go back down that backside there and just go down the hill and start swimming. That could be the play, but I think right now they're just going to have to just hold it down. They are still in this circle, so they have a little bit of time to breathe. But they should already have a plan in place. Like, if this zone shifts, they got to leave, for sure.
Yep. And it looks like right now the zone shift goes just northwest of Ferry Pier. YKG leaving Primorsk to the sort of center compound. Center's right on top of them. A lot of these team jukes, they're on the north side towards the Chinky, on this east side towards the bridge. They're needing to find a spot in, and there's not many places for them.
You can see Zeus has a little bit of an off angle here. I wonder if he's going to try to jump down the bridge. That's going to be risky regardless. So
yeah.
Toxic for Life are just completely stuck here in this spot. Uh-oh, Saturn's pushing. Here they go. They recognize that Dark was completely isolated. They full sent it across for free, and Dark, he's got no chance. He's going to go down. The rest of the team is way too far away. Nice recognition from Saturn, and way to turn up the aggression right on time. Beautifully done.
Yeah, and I was a little bit worried because Zeus, you know, you mentioned it on this off angle on the bridge, and Saturn said, you know, we don't need to care about it. We're just gonna send it right up the hillside. And Classy, I believe it is on whoever it was, off to this eastern side, holding an off angle, not getting any shots to support his teammate, just forced into a 1v3. And the DBS is nice, but it's not that nice. You have to hit those shots like that. So great play from Saturn. My favorite team at the moment, I think, that I've been eyeing. And it's a solid game one from them right now.
Love to see it. Love to see that movement, baby. All right, and let's see how the Nomads are going to handle it. Let's see. The 4-1-2, they already have one elimination. The entire squad up. C4 are actually going to be getting into it with 4-1-2. 4-1-2 is going to have the hill priority, and it is Baton. They're going to have to watch out here. Oh, he gets naded, though. Beautifully there. Beautifully done there. How's the rest of the team going to handle this? Crow has a little bit of an off angle with that nade. He has to hit it if they want to stand a chance, and it's a little bit too far. But they actually do. They catch QZZ. Now it's just sick. 4 brothers eliminated. Oh, my gosh, a limb.
Gun Pain had been knocked to the side as well by Blue Tiam. So it's just C4 right now, able to get the resets. And then never mind a finish from Crow. He's hitting the nades right now, Jukes. And I'm wanting C4 maybe to go for the res. Unfortunately not. Sick gets eliminated as well. And I'd like to see Blue Tiam aggress on this. They've had knocks on the 412 and C4. And they're in a prime position with their vehicles to choose which fight they want to take.
Telling you, stage 3, stage 4 is always the worst time to get into an early engagement with a team because your chances of getting third party are so high. And C4 was doing a great job. They had 3 eliminations, but just too many angles there, and they got taken out. So OZZ, right, and Psych do end up going down. Gun Pain gets eliminated, so 4-1-2 is stuck with 3. Oh, Joey!
Wait a second!
With the bolt action! See ya! There goes your head.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't loot the drop fast enough because there is a 3 helmet in it. Joey getting the knock, and oh my goodness, look at that. YKG centered again. Wow. Joey in the dead center. And C4, I like the play they made. They opted to rotate to this compound just below him. 412 gets a bit of a reset, and Blue Tiam gets to hold the other side of the hill on the east side. But these teams that were, you know, on this edge of Ferry Pier, on this east side with Saturn and stuff like that, all of them need to rotate in. And unfortunately, this east side of YKG is essentially just 2 or 3 hay bales in the middle of the open. So these teams are going to have to find a way to get in, and hopefully fast.
Here comes Darwin with a nice shot there on the Classies and to get that. Oh my gosh, he's actually dominating for his team. 3 eliminations all by himself, almost about to take out a whole entire squad. So Saturn Esports rocking the whole team. Toxic for life. Here's Zeus, the last player up. And you can just tell he's just hunting down some kind of loot. He has no meds, so that's why he's stuck where he is right now. Hopefully he can find some in this warehouse. But regardless, he thinks he's in a bad spot either way.
Yeah, and I'm seeing two just on the edge of the map. Twisted Minds, I think, has an idea. They're just on the edge of the zone to his north, looking down at this. And all these teams that are already in zone, they're not going to care what's going on in the center. They're going to look at everyone trying to rotate in, just like Zeus is right now, trying to find a spot and pick up those free elimination points.
Alrighty, well, let's see how many elimination points these teams are going to get, as right now I think it's Saturn in the lead with 3, but you have Black Mamba and C4 tying them for now. Oh, look at this, Manic just getting punished.
Ooh.
Oh, what a great little bounce nade there. And they are done for. So Blue Tiam picking up some nice points. In the process, we're starting to see the rotations come out. Here's Black Mamba on the other end. Papi Triste does get popped quite a bit. And wow, just like that. Oh, Saturn actually was the team to finish off Manic, so they're done early.
Ooh. That's a little unfortunate. Obviously good for Saturn. They're needing the elimination points, but as this was going on, I think Joey got slammed by Black Mamba, and he's been eliminated. So fortunately, we won't be able to see more snipes from him, but YKG opting to take these sort of, little handshake at the compound. 21st Century, though, the duo that had been caught out on that far eastern side in the first 2 zones, taking the spot that Joey was at up on top of that hillside. Definitely not the spot to be when it's a smaller zone like this, but if you're a duo, you got to take anything you can get.
Absolutely. Here's 412 on the other end right here. This is pretty much on the north side. They're going to be holding this down. So it's, 15 teams. That does give a lot of room in circle number 4.
Yeah.
So technically there was basically 3 teams out of here. So they're going to have a lot of time right now to just kind of breathe, get their head straight. Uh-oh, Crow. Yeah, Crow, come on.
I think he saw the buggy was missing a tire, so opting not to take it. But 412, they did have a split on this north side with YKG holding the south. Obviously, YKG had gotten the better end of the stick, I guess you could say, with where the zone shifted, but still having a spot in zone. So it's always nice to see these teams. They did pick up elimination points for being that center's focus spot, but right now we can see everyone pretty much right next to each other, either in compounds or in little divots. Klein obviously on the right for Blue Tiam being knocked. Hopefully Twix or someone can revive him, but I think most people right now are waiting to see where the zone shift goes next. Where do you think it's going, Jigs?
Center up. Oh, okay, all right, just a little bit off center. Little off center there. Not bad. We got Black Mamba still in there, YKG still at that compound. And honestly, I think we could definitely see squad like Toxic for Life, if they're able to go ahead and take that hillside, we could definitely see some things happen. But honestly, that compound where level X is, it's a little sketchy. I think I would rather see them go up and take the hill.
Yeah, I mean, you have the wall, which is for security, but the idea is how many people are going to slam you. And old gangsters slamming YKG, they take out fears on the inside of the building. 2v2 situation right now. Katri getting a little bit of a reset going off with his HP. But 24K has to hit this nade. Doesn't hit it. I mean, he's going for the red Daiku.
Jump shot.
Oh, he goes for the jump shot. Destroyed. 1v1 situation, though. It's Chico versus Katri. Peeks the window. Doesn't get it. It's the pre-fire with the Bison. Oh, my goodness. They're both 1 HP, Jukes.
The B-zone. The B-zone. Chico's got to make something happen here. But there's so many shots coming from different angles. Katri's a little bit scared here. So he's going to try and hold this position for the best he can. Chico's going to go ahead and go for the reset. Nobody coming in on the third party, so that's very fortunate for both these teams. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're starting to see players start creeping on in a little bit closer. Chico does get that res, so they're going to go for the 2v2. 1 nade is all it takes. Oh, do they recognize? He does. Chico.
That's it.
Reds it.
Oh.
Oh, and it's off the mark.
I think
Chico with the Bison. He's scared to go up these stairs. He has to pre-fire like crazy. Oh, and he's getting shot from the outside, though.
24. Big nade by 24. He's got to get a knock here.
He needs it. They
Throws
really
it.
need it. They got it.
Bang!
Got him. Chico, waiting. No nades, 8 smokes, so he can't use any utility. He's got the B-zone, though. The Bison. Daku's got the S12K, though. It's a bad boy. He's going to go for that reset once again, and they are holding these stairs. So hard to attack. Oh, the shotgun blast. I thought that was going to be good enough, but Chico remains unfazed for now. But, oh, Echo for Black Mama.
24.
Gets down 24. And now, man, both these teams are just getting shot at from all directions.
Yeah, and the problem is just this is taking so long. People start moving around, and 24K gets eliminated. Chico just 1 HP. Got the Nox player, not the one that was going for the revive. And Old Gangsters somehow keeping the 3 players up on the crash. We're going to switch over to this west side of the map with 412 having to fight T4F on this far west side. It's a 2v3 situation. 1 knocked, though, for 412 Esports, but it's really just the finest 4 having them hit these shots, and Crow's down to 1 HP. Gotta find it here. You're not going to be able to eliminate the squad. Goes for Lamali.
Molotov coming out. That looks good.
That's great. Oh, he got him.
He burned them up. He burned them up.
And now it's just a 1v2. Elim up on top. He does have the angle if they try to push down into the smokes and get the Elims, but oh man, Crow them seen on the edge of the smoke. The finest 4 picking up points that they desperately need on this west side. And look at this. I mean, everyone's names are just over each other. We've got Saturn with C4 and 20 for Central in the Northeast. Black Mamba, third party, and everyone on that southern side. And Level X taking a straight up 4v4 fight. But the zone shift goes straight north onto C4. The team that I thought was maybe going to get eliminated by 412 Nomads being able to survive to this end game and maybe picking up a few more elimination points.
And now you can see some movement happening here. Level X down at that compound I was talking about. It's a very difficult one to hold, but Chris does a great job with that DP there. He's going to go ahead and try to get some heals off. Doesn't have a lot of CQC weapons, but it doesn't matter. He does. That UMP is so good. Chris just shutting them down. Almost about to get the entire squad wiped by himself. He's hungry. He's looking for it. Here he goes. UMP pre-fire.
On the res.
Oh, he goes down.
Just 1 HP. Oh, you've got to go for
and
it.
he's
Don't
gonna
let Chris get thirsted. No.
They got him.
Wait,
oh, no, he's still alive. Lassie, you got to go.
Oh, Lassie. Oh, no.
Lassie.
I'd be so upset. Chris essentially 1v4 in that you headshotted him at the end. You knew he was 1. I'd be screaming just for you to peek, but fortunately not. Level X obviously making out with 4 eliminations, but instead of 2 players, it's just 1 now.
You know what? Hey, sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. Let's see how Saturn does from this side of the map. They're going to be looking at C4. OG still making that push. Doing some work right now.
Yeah.
YKG did end up going out. So we're going to see Blue Tiam. Uh-oh, in the closet.
Stun.
It's throwing that stun, yeah, just trying to survive. He's got that honey badger. Throwing some smokes, trying to buy himself a little bit of time.
I think they're just barely outside of the zone on this backside, but I think they'll have enough time to get the reset going off. And OG, a team that by no means has been gifted the zone anyway. They've had to crash compound after compound, make these sort of foot pushes, while Black Mamba on this west side is just scoping you as a 4-man. So, ooh, Catchy just forcing the 1v1, winning it with a little bit of a pre-fire. I mean, they're sitting at 5 eliminations. Daku's needing to get on the board. Black Mamba right now opting. I think they've spread up the hill now, and they are.
Yeah, well, right now they just got the hill. They got
teams.
the roof control. Yeah, they got that really nice roof control, so they're just really big chilling here from this side of the map. 7 eliminations for Black Mamba, looking real good. That's the most so far in the lot. Actually, Saturn is going to be tied with them with 7, so it's 5 squads remaining here, and things are definitely starting to heat up. The zone getting closer and closer. This is stage 6. And let's see how they have to play. So right now, since it is stage 6 and there's still there's very few teams alive, no one's going to be moving a muscle for now.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, like, my eyes are going to be on Black Mamba because they've had the opportunity of being at this compound early enough where they're not really needing to use their smoke grenades, their frag grenades, even their stun grenades if they throw them, the Molotovs and stuff like that. They have the util. It's a matter of if the zone doesn't shift on you, are you actually able to use it? Because now we see, TF4 looking down on you from up the hill. We have the Level X solo on the west side if you try to push it over the mountain. Where is Black Mambas and Old Gangsters going to go on the next zone shift? And we see it here right now. Center.
Oh, wow.
On the T4. Black Mamba might have a bit of the compound in play, which is a blessing for them. But for the most part, Old Gangsters is where, we see it right now. Saturn, Black Mamba, everyone's just looking down on you. So they've made it, the pushes early on. They have a good amount of elimination points, but unfortunately, I think this might be the end for them.
Let's see if that's going to be the case. So, yeah, Black Mamba busted out the M24. Wow, he's looking for the headshot. He sees it.
Ooh.
Got him.
Ooh.
Oh, my
He hit
goodness.
him.
How is that not a knock? It looks like it did like
He hit the
20
neck or
HP. Oh, that's
something?
just brutal.
Yeah. Now, the body shot, at least like 60 or 70,
Buff
you know.
it.
He's got the
Buff
8X
it,
on it. Just buff it into the
Buff
ground.
it.
I'm needing it to be one shot on Nox. There goes one knock through the doorway. Poppy Triste, one of your favorite players on this roster, Jukes, I feel. Getting the knock, and it's just down to 2 now. Jazzy Boy opting to maybe go for the util. Ooh,
Nice
gets
nade.
1 knock as well. Katri just a solo. And at this point, Jukes, do you almost just revive and give up the point to zone, or do you try making it in here? Oh, wait a minute.
They're done for. I mean, this is just the way that zone was. They had to go ahead and move, and Black Mamba's not going to let them get away with this. Some nice smokes come out, buys them a little bit of time, but now you got Saturn on the other end, and that is old gangsters done for. So sometimes that zone just doesn't love you, and there's not much you can do in that situation. I think that was going to be one of them. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this. Man, this is what I was talking about with this kind of zone. I wish I would have saw Level X leave that compound and take this hill.
Yeah.
If they would have taken this hill with all 4 up, I think they could have easily won this game. But they got a little bit comfortable in their spot. And then, of course, some misplays here and there. Now they're stuck with only one. Oh, they were with only 1 player. Now there's only 3 teams remaining.
Yeah.
3 teams remaining, and the finest 4 have the hill.
Yeah, Toxic for life as OG is getting farmed. Unfortunately, they opted to push down into the compound and clear out the level X player. So now the finest 4 is having to fight Black Mamba, who has a bit of an overwatch with Jazzy Boy off in the back, but does look like they have a few frag grenades, maybe get an opening knock, thirst them out, and try to even up the fight for them. While, of course, Saturn's making the move on this north side, trying to close in.
Saturn's just waiting for this fight, right? If these guys get into an engagement, Saturn's going to come and clean it all up. So, finest 4 as a duo really have to figure out what they're going to do here. Ashu doesn't have an elimination yet. He does have a lot of hill priority, but these nades are a bit rough. He needs to make sure he saves some of them. You don't want to throw all your utility in a spot like this. And he only has 1 nade left. 2 Molotovs, so what a nice shot there on the Echo. That was nice. Ooh, and blind shots gets him pretty low.
I think he might get the third. Oh, stolen from Saturn, but look at this now. Saturn opting to start moving closer and closer. You know Black Mom's the team that has to fight, and Toxic for Life is the team that has to push them off. So good knock from them. And we're seeing this full 3 gear with the Groza 4 frags. This player could possibly wipe Black Mambas alone, but the issue is that there's 3 Saturn players to your north, and I think you're on a timer right now. You have to clear out Black Mamba. Maybe with the frag there. Oh, I think he's behind a vehicle. Didn't knock him too well, but the zone itself too. I'm liking the nade play from Talon.
Everything.
As the zone's coming in, you want to wait until you know absolutely where the player is going to be. So hopefully they're able to clear out Black Mamba here and turn their sights towards Saturn.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think those were some really bad nades. I mean, you just got to hold on to them. I know it's so hard because you just want to throw it and hope you get lucky, but at this late game, you want to make sure you have some utility to last you. But you also don't want to get put in a spot where you didn't use your utility and you end up going out. So yeah, it is one of those 50-50s. But they do end up getting one of the players. I think Saturn recognizes that they have this game in the bag. They really need to start playing aggressive now. Like literally just, hey, come in, third party, and use those weapons to clear it out. And that's what they're doing. But Ashu catches 1. That makes things difficult. Saturn is just playing this 2 in and out. They got to make a decision, and they lose a player because of it.
Yeah,
nice
but the
nade.
nade is huge. Calon forcing a 1v1-2 with Poppy Triste. 1 HP gets destroyed by the TBS. 1v2 spot, and look at this. Oh my goodness, Jukes. 6 eliminations are Darwin. 4 for the rest of his squad, but wow. I mean, it's a 1v2 situation. I'm not going to discredit Poppy Triste just yet. If he grabbed the Groza, I think that'd be great. Groza, DBS, that sounds disgusting. But Saturn now, they have the center of the zone. Poppy Triste has to crawl on, and we can see this too. The hillside doesn't have much grass for Poppy Triste to really be able to connect and get up close. So, gonna go for a few blind nades, see if he can find a player himself. Not really gonna connect, but this one on the rock might be it.
Let's see if he hits it.
Goes for
Is
it.
it good? Oh, the guy! The perfect roll! The perfect roll! It literally just went right beside the rock. He's going to get the thirst, too.
Oh,
wow.
no.
I'm surprised Darwin even peeked that out. He should have just stayed behind the rock and gave intel.
Yeah.
But now it's a 1v1.
Yeah,
Pure
info.
1v1. Poppy Triste versus Andek.
I mean, Andak.
Oh, he's got a buggy!
Oh, a little bit of a buggy play. Oh, he got beamed, though. He's half HP.
Oh, my God.
A little bit of a rock play. Maybe he doesn't expect it. Oh,
what?
He gets DBS over the top. Insane shot out of Saturn. But, you know, it's not like I didn't think they were going to win because they're in prime position for it, but Poppy Triste really made it hard for him, Jukes.
He really did. I thought that that play, I thought he had it, man. I think he thought he was behind that rock, too. Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Beautifully done, though, from Saturn to be able to clutch it up right there towards the end. I would have liked to see them get a little bit more aggressive in that situation. But you know what? That's what happens. You know, hey, when you're a newer squad, sometimes, you know, it's a little bit hard for you to realize, like, hey, we got to flip this switch right now. But as time goes on, these guys get more experience. That synergy gets into play. And that the push is almost automatic. You don't have to wait for the call, right? They're just like, boom, all right, let's go and get this game. As we take a look here at that replay. So Saturn getting some nice points. Black Mamba, see them all the way towards the end was nice. And I think we saw some really nice plays here to start the day.
Yeah, I mean, Old Gangsters, of course, is one of them. You know, they weren't gifted the zones. They had to slam into YKG. They won that fight, you know, against a team that, in my eyes, is probably the most deadly in the lobby in terms of these close-range fights. We could see a bit of it here. Chico really was putting in work with 24K, but unfortunately, it took them a little bit too long to push into Old Gangster's upper floor. They didn't really like the timings of it because it's a 10-second revive, and if you're not comfortable pushing up after 10 seconds, good chance are is that he's res. You don't really get a sound cue from it. This is a level X fight that you were kind of questioning of, hey, you know, maybe we should have just gone up the hill. I love that idea. The issue is just here with level X, they let Chris die. Someone that, you know, he was carrying the squad this game. He had 3 of those eliminations. I would have liked to see him really start to flourish at the end there. But unfortunately, his teammate, a little bit too much time to take that 1v1. But of course, I mean, all of our eyes are on Saturn for this game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Poppy Triste with a really quick peek, but just couldn't get it done. As we take a look here at the results here for match number 1. Saturn Esports with 21 total points. Black Mambo, 17. 11 elimination points shared between both. So that is really, really solid here. I mean, heck, $6,000 is on the line. This is a good way to do it, and that's the best way to start off day number 2, right? Some really good, solid names here to make it done, to make it happen. Not to mention, we're looking at the second page. Dude, the biggest shock to me, honestly, is 4 Bros, right?
Yeah.
4 Bros cannot get it done in Erangel. This is their 3rd one so far, and I think they've gone out so early each time.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Bros themselves, they obviously have Leon, who's an established player and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's like you said yourself. The way this game is played has been changed from when we used to play, especially when I played it, when him and I used to play. It was a lot of positioning. Let's hold these teams. We'll get the kills later on in the zones. You know, the elimination points really start to add up for those types of plays. But the issue is now all these teams are getting a lot more room in the zone because they're taking these early fights that we're seeing, you know, YKG and stuff like that, C4 and Nomads, and that last match having a huge portion of the zone just off their own aggression. But 4 Bros is not even making it out of Rozhok. So hopefully they switch up the drop or something. I don't like seeing them really force it too much. We're in the second day. Yesterday was a dip in the waters, but now, I mean, you're going to start drowning in it if you don't do something soon.
Yep, got to make some changes. We'll hope to see them do that here in the next few games, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
It's time to upgrade your PUBG mobile outfits. Join free daily cups for solo, duo, or squads. Win Faceit points. Exchange for PUBG Mobile UC. To customize your accounts, join Faceit today and earn rewards. Try for free at faceit.com/PUBG Mobile.
And we're back. Here we go with day number 2 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open, and this is going to be match 2 coming up. So we're heading into Miramar. Of course, I'm Hot Jukes here with Enigma. Bro, so game 1, done and dusted. We saw some monster teams on the leaderboards. Fall a little bit short in match number 1, and some teams that really needed points, right? Clutch it up.
Yeah, I mean, Black Mama's the namesake for it. I mean, they obviously had a little bit of zone blast. They were able to crash Joey as he was ISO'd out on that west side of the compound and pick up a free elimination point. But after that, it's what they chose to do is really hard focus on the rest of the YKG and OG fight. They picked up a lot of eliminations. And obviously, they didn't win the game. Saturn clutched it up. But second place is still good placement points. They had good elimination points. Really stellar stuff to see. Now, obviously, it's only the first game. Maybe it was, a fluke, a one-hit wonder. But hopefully they do well this game and we're able to start to see what I wanted to see of these lower teams start to perform and make this a lot more competitive for these teams at the top to be like, hey, just because you did good one day doesn't mean you're making it in that top 8. So hopefully we see it from here. The playing path, Jukes, I'm a bit of a fan. Unfortunately, Campo Militar is not in. Which kind of was our set, weird drop in the corner of the map, but I mean, hey, everyone's got their weird little niche, little honey hole spots, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone's trying to look for their spots here. You know what? I was looking at the chat a little bit earlier. I noticed that some people were a little bit frustrated, saying like, "Hey, man, why are PMPL teams here? Competing against PMCO teams?" And I will say this, right? Honestly, it's all about mindset, right?
Yeah.
And I think that top 8 is the goal. Right? Top 8 is the goal to move on. And the thing is that if a team's already qualified for the most part, you don't have to really worry about them so much, right?
Yeah.
It's just really that prize 100%. Pool that can kind of come into play. But I'll tell you what, I think that if I was a team here in NA that was new, PMCO, first time ever, I'd be pumped. I would be pumped at the chance to go up against YKG. To go up against 412.
Oh, yeah.
What more could you ask for, right? Because this is the perfect practice, the perfect way to really gain that confidence and be like, hey, man, we squad like YKG, Come PMPL time, we're going to have something in us. And I think that that's the kind of mindset that a lot of these teams should really take into this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, too, will come down to, maybe you haven't been able to scrim against these teams. Maybe you don't know what the top competition's really like. It's kind of, an eye-opener for you if you perform poorly, or, maybe if your squad is really taking this serious, like I'm expecting a lot of these teams to be taking it serious. Maybe one of your teammates or people like that in chat where they're not really understanding, hey, this is what competition's going to be like. You should get used to this sort of play that these players are bringing to the table. Just because you want it easier doesn't mean that it's the right way. So I love seeing it. Unfortunately, Black Mamba, right as they had a good game, Four Bros picking up an elimination point on the Jazzy Boy. Thankfully, Leon, my boy got the first elimination on the map, but they're needing a lot more than just that, Jukes. They are struggling, to say the least.
100%. Well, you know what? Sometimes all it takes is a good little talking to. And I know that you said you talked to the man himself, so hopefully we can see them bounce back here because, Leon and squad should be in the top 8 very easily. And I'm shocked that we don't see them there already. So one game again is all it takes. I like the fact that they're starting off strong. My only hesitation is so far this tournament. We've seen 5 matches, and every time we see them get some eliminations early on, like the second fight they get taken out. So I want to see them work together and just last a little bit longer out throughout the match.
Yeah, unfortunately right now it looks like 412 is going to be fine, but Fears actually as well. I'm not sure how the fan club got in this situation, but it's looking like a 2v2 fight in La Bendita. Center of the zone, they get the knock on a 24K who was holding the off angle actually up top of the hill. Joey immediately going to try to cover his position. Headshot with the AK, almost one taps him. Zooey has one clip in his AK. Hopefully they can make it up the mountain in time to stop this reset, but YKG a bit of a fault in their step with the knock on a 24K, but seems like they are going to get the reset.
Yeah, here they go. So they got that knock. You can see them starting to press the action. Joey's doing a great job here just trying to play keep away, right? Just put some shots down range. Yeah. Oh, he's got to watch out, though. He's going to be out in the open. Oh, my gosh. He's going to be able to see him. Ricky with the M16 takes down Joey just like that. And he's going to get that finish. Yeah. YKG in big trouble.
Fears is stuck in a 1v2 situation now. He's got the S12. It's still a shotgun, but the DBS reigns supreme. Zooey getting both of the elimination finishes. And Chico, who was on the south side, I think took a little bit too long either to loot the compound or rotate in, but last player alive on YKG. So Jersey fan club picking up 3 elimination points on a huge threat in the lobby. So like to see it from them. And I'd like to know too, Ricky, we could say what we want about those M16 shots maybe, but the issue is, it's so hard for you to take a quick peek like that with a 4X M16 of all guns because you're shooting it on single fire. You're not really going to be able to track them that well while quick peeking. So thankfully for him, he was able to pick up the knock, ultimately leading his team to take the 1v2 on top of the mountain. But great stuff from them, at least, to say the least.
100%. Great stuff for them. And they took out YKG, right? So, I'll tell you what, if you're your Waste fan club, you're like, man, I'm feeling myself right now, So a great upstart for them. Again, kind of a big question mark for the side of YKG. But, they're just having fun. They're just having fun. That's what I was told. And you know what? And I believe them, So, honestly, I don't mind if YKG just gets bodied here in PMCO. And the reason why is because I want them to utilize this as full-fledged practice. Like, just see this as competitive scrims because there's money on the line. So teams are giving it everything they have. That's the big difference between this versus scrims, right? So a good chance for YKG to maybe try some new, strategies, have some different things. Chico does go down, and YKG get eliminated early. So we'll see if they do have that bounce-back game because yesterday we saw it, right? All it takes is one game with a crazy amount of eliminations for them to rocket launch themselves back up.
Yeah, it looks like Four Bros themselves, they found a knock on a blue Tiam holding this compound. I think they actually shot him as he was going for maybe the monster truck in the middle of the road, but trying to find the elimination point, not seeing him in the smoke, of course. Looks like Caprice Jr. is going to be able to maybe get the reset, but right now blue Tiam's in a bit of a precarious spot because they only have one player on this hillside to their east. No one really having too much overwatch. And oh my goodness, he actually didn't make it across. He's stuck on that small little tree trying to get revived.
Oh, that's tough. Let's see what he can do here in this situation. Bro's Beast. Oh my gosh, is that a holographic sight on that Car 98?
Whatever works.
Oh, if you would have hit that, that would have been so sick. Yeah, bro, I was getting so... I got silent there just watching for a second. I was like, oh... But barely misses the
Maybe
mark.
meta.
Now we're seeing that.
It's looking like the meta right now, Jukes, is red dot hollow because Twist doesn't even have a scope himself. So, maybe they're trying some new tech out that us older players don't really recognize, but maybe I'd stick with an 8x there. So,
Yeah,
they're still pressuring. Four Bros
forcible.
has it. Yeah. Four
What
Bros
about
is
this
still
meta?
looking to force
What about
this
this
fight,
meta?
but I like it. 100 in the clip, basically. I mean, there's no way you're missing. There's no way you're missing all 100, right? Like, you just hold the fire button down and just pray that some of those shots land.
From downtown. From downtown, baby, with the 3x. Love to see it here. New metas being developed, guys. You never know what's going to work out, what's going to change here. As we're starting to see some stuff happening. Big shout out to everybody that's watching right now in the chat. I see you guys. OZ, Live, Scarlet, Phenom. Oh, Red Eyes official. What's up, big bro? How you doing?
Nice.
Daddy Viper. Dude, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Suki, let's see who's going to win this game. See, Suki's going for Black Mamba Jassy Boy. So let's see if we can keep an eye on if he can make his fans proud as we look at this next zone centering up. What do you see, Enigma?
Well, I'm seeing this centered north side of the road completely free because it's essentially been gridlocked with Level X in this 4-1-2 fight. We saw them at the very beginning of the game dropping with each other, and I've never liked this because it's essentially just you're stopping each other from being able to actually get into a prime position because this would be Level X or 4-1-2's game to have a huge spread on this north side just to the west of Toxic for Life. In between, you'd also get a crate drop at that point too. But unfortunately, now these players opted to just hold them. Thankfully, in my eyes, 4-1-2 has made a good play of holding the edge, and Level X has to work into them. But it's still just, I'm not too sure if those 4 elimination points are worth the possible positioning later on in the game. So we'll have to wait and see how the zone shifts, if it would, bite them in the back, so to speak. But now, 21st Century, all these teams starting to rotate into the zone, some of them on the edge, some of them right through the center even. So hopefully we can see some of these teams maybe fight it out for a spot on the edge, but these teams that landed in the zone and weren't able to rotate, I just feel sorry for them.
Yeah, me too. It's just a tough situation for sure. And sometimes it's the luck of the draw, but you got to be able to make the best of it. You got to adapt and overcome both of those things. So this is the best chance. This is the best chance, right, for these teams to really, learn, adapt, be able to just grow as a squad. At the same time, it is tough because, you want to make sure you get into top 8 at least. And there's not a lot of games to do it. So not a lot of flexibility. I think you really want to kind of put in a good, solid game, get some big points, so that way you can have a little bit more room to kind of have fun in the lobby. Meanwhile, we're going to watch Carnegie from Level X get knocked in the feed as we watch. Oh, yep, here we go. Here's that battle. 4-1-2.
There's 2
starting
knocked.
to push up. Yeah, and they're in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gunpain with his teammate. There's just a little bit of pre-fires. Didn't get the reset off. He only has an Uzi. A little bit of a shots connecting. I think it's Crow from up top getting a bit of damage in, and it's all of 4-1-2 Nomads getting 2 elimination points. They know where one of them is actually, possibly even 2 if he went for the reset. So now it's just Level X really questioning, why did we drop here? We just wasted, 5, 6, 8 minutes of the match, the first 2 zones, in a game where, it matters most. We're in the middle of the game. It's not like it's the first day, Jukes. We're in the second day of play. Level X is one of those borderline teams. All of these points matter.
Yes, they do. No time for mistakes. Take a look at the next zone right here. Big chillin'. We're about to see that pop. Where's it going to go? Center's up. Okay.
Ooh.
So nothing too crazy for these teams. Meanwhile, we're going to see a big push from the fan club. And they're going to get it done here. So they're going to take down Ashu. As we saw them, oh man, barely get a good first game. Honestly, the Finance 4 got a decent first game when it comes point-wise. But, man, it's always tough to see a good game go right into a bad one.
Yeah, I mean, this is the team I noted at the start of the broadcast for today's matches. Ooh, a little bit of a freebie going on for the Finance 4. Only Mafia left alive, but the fan club, like I was going to note, they've been dropping roughly 4 eliminations a match. And in my eyes, it means you're winning at least 1 fight. Here, I mean, they have 7. So it seems like they found their sort of stride on what has been faltering them and getting into this later part of the game. And hopefully here, they're able to make the rotate. They're able to pick up the last elimination point on a Mafia and rotate in. But great stuff from them. And it looks like, too, you know, it's not one player dominating for them. It's the whole team being able to hit their shots.
100%. But, man, look at that. 7 eliminations on the Jerways fan club. So these guys are really starting off strong here. We'd love to see that. This next zone is making things a little bit difficult here, especially for a player like the Finest 4 Mafia, all by his lonesome. Yeah, not much he could do in that situation. No vehicle as well. So, yeah, he's pretty much done and dusted. Meanwhile, 4-1-2, right? Looking to continue that dominance and hold on to that first place. $6,000 on the line, guys. $6,000. So, you know that's what they are looking to get in the bank account right now. And the rest of the teams are trying to hunt them down. But, man, we're starting to see so many squads just battle it out. And it's kind of crazy to me because, again, 15 teams in this lobby. There should be 16 teams, but, you know, one team, unfortunately, could not make it. Now with 15 left, there's so much room to breathe. So I'm surprised we're seeing so many players go out early.
Yeah, I think some of it is just players maybe opting into that sort of rat play. Let's hold the compound, hide the car, let someone pull up. And I think that's what Jerway's fan club did just now, where they were holding on the edge of the zone and waiting for these teams to rotate. And they know, you know, Saturn, Toxic for Life, the teams that maybe are a little bit more hesitant to take fights, opting to play in zone. So if you're able to find those teams while they're not in a comfortable spot, it really shows who's able to make the best out of the worst situation. So good stuff from them. Hopefully these other teams can do it. Old Gangsters being able to just chill at this, you know, centered compound for the zone. They've been here for most of the game. And all these teams kind of just starting to rotate in around them. Hopefully we could see them pick up a few more elimination points. But seen on the map on this northwest side, 4 Bros, the team that I was questioning that I wanted them to do better, they've found the spot that I feel to be the most advantageous position because you can watch all of the road side. You're able to hold this north side where you know 412 and Level X were fighting. And the zone shift shows that it centers directly onto them, essentially. Black Mamba still in zone on this east side. And it looks like Saturn, I think, was just fully eliminated. So, unfortunate for them, they were the team that rotated by Junkyard on that southeast. Just caught, you know, maybe coming in a little bit too late. But all these teams now are starting to swarm in.
Yes, they are. So let's see what 4 Bros could do with a good position now, right? We're finally seeing them get into that late game.
Oh.
Can they hold it down? That's going to be my question. Meanwhile, we're going to watch Jerway's fan club get another elimination. That's 8 total for them, and they're still counting. So let's go. It's going to see a big game from at least one team here. 4-1-2, OG got some on the board. Everyone else just trying to hide their way and get into this next circle.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be Manic. Manic has been having a lot of trouble when it comes to at least team fights here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been getting caught out. I think C4 limited one of their players just now, not even really getting shots in on them. And this isn't even C4 they're fighting. They're fighting Blue Tiam while C4 is working the backside of them on the edge of zone. So really just uncomfortable spot from them. And we're seeing it too. Capri's getting the knock with an M16 of all guns. Really just, I'm wondering if they should just be actively looking for these fights earlier on so they're not in these positions, or if they just need to change the game plan up entirely.
That could end up being the situation here, as we're going to watch. One of the players, one of the old gangsters, breaking his ankles.
Another.
Oh my gosh, another one? 2?
That's 2.
That's tough.
You hate to see it, to say the least.
Man, Manic getting punished here. Oh, nice shots, though. Little return fire.
Oh, never mind. It was from a C4 player for that one. I thought it was number 1 hand getting the knock onto, but C4 now opting to just go towards center more. Picking up a bit of an off angle onto the Blue Tian players. One of them still knocked. But these teams, I mean, I'm wanting to see them. Oh, and there's another knock. I'm wanting to see them start to take these fights earlier so they don't have, these other teams don't have time to third party. But it looks like C4 now possibly getting a free 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 elimination points right here.
Soaking them up so far. Because, yeah, CC4 just gatekeeping this entire side of the map. And I'll tell you what, this is one team that doesn't mind getting aggressive, that's for sure. But, OZ got a little bit off, a little bit more than he could chew. Payne's going to go and drive to him as fast as possible. And should be able to get the res here. And he goes for it. Yep. So he's going to confirm that res. He's got to be careful, though, because they're coming from him. Yep. Manic is on the push. And nice little return fires. Ooh, makes him buy some time. And Panic gets it done and clutches up the res. Let's go, Panic.
Nice.
Pain.
Yeah, I mean,
Good old Pain.
I think
On to Manic.
I think it was worth for the C4 player Oz to get knocked there because he did get the thirst on the blue team, the team that was on this northern side, forcing them to feel, oh my goodness, like we can't push this hill. We don't have 4. They have 4. We only saw 1 knock onto C4, and we know they have an off angle. So blue team forced to just stay turtled up in here. And I think Bond knows he's in the shack now, so C4 has an opportunity of getting another free elimination if they can hit a nade in the shack, but Junior's not going to let that happen. Finds an M4 spray on a Pain, immediately thirsted, and Oz gets knocked there as well. So C4, the team that I thought was going to maybe pick up some more elims, maybe just spreading out a little too thin, getting eliminated. So just going to be down to Bond and Sick right now.
That is tough. Let's see what Sick can do here. Sick on the move. Just kind of we're looking to get some intel while he can get it. And the rest of the teams, they just trying to find a next spot to this next circle. I mean, this is still only stage 5. It is wild to me that PMCO, we're seeing so many teams go out. Teams just battling each other time and time again. I'm telling you, in the future stages, they're going to have to learn to be more patient because those bigger squads, they hear shots, they're third party you 99% of the time.
I think a lot of it's just taking the early aggression and finding a spot in zone. Doesn't mean you have to take an engagement. Just means, you're trying to fill up the zone a bit more. And this match, even though it's Miramar, it's the biggest map, the map that I feel is the easiest to get into zones on. These teams are not finding it good at all for them to be making these rotates. And now we're seeing it. A lot of these teams opting to take these early engagements on the edge where I feel it's just unnecessary. And while that stuff was going on with C4 Bros, unfortunately eliminated, I think, from Black Mamba. They're at the center compound. That was last where 4 Bros were at. So unfortunate to see. I thought they would have a good game, and it's just as soon as we look away from them, it's just tragic for them. So hopefully they can pick it up. They did get 3 eliminations, so maybe they're starting to rev the engine a little bit, but I mean, it's not looking good at all.
Yeah, it's not looking good, especially when they got such a good spot in this next circle,
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can see them bounce back. Still a lot of time, but not as much as we hope, because after this game, we're at the halfway point, right? So we're officially about to finish the halfway point of this tournament. Sick. Here we go, 1v1. Nice pre-fire. Double pre-fire. Oh, he gets caught with the last bullet. Slay clutching it up right here.
Yeah, lost in the smoke. That's just a little track. You'd almost just jump around the smoke maybe or something. Bond's trying to find it. Maybe even did damage to his teammate, but it looks like another JFC player peeking over the hill. Maybe forcing the 1v1. I'd like to see Slay peek over. Give him a bit of support, but and he doesn't need it. Hits the last bullet over the hill as he was proing. So looks like Jerway's fan club's going to be able to get the reset. They do have quite a few elimination points right now. 10 currently. Down to just a duo, but look at the lobby. There's only one team that's 412 Nomads with 4 live. Everyone else is either a trio or duo. So Jerway's fan club, Blue Team, teams that have those eliminations up on the board, I feel are still in a spot to win the game.
Oh my goodness. Well, 4-1-2, 8 eliminations, looking really good. Jerway's fan club with 10. Wow, things are really, really heating up here. And it's crazy because, I mean, this is still circle number 5. This is very early in the game, guys, especially for a map like Miramar. If this was like PMPL or PMWI or America's Championship, we would see like 10 teams remaining,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. At least 10 teams. At least 10 teams minimum. But now, heck, sometimes we even see 15 teams remaining right here in Circle 5. So it's very interesting to see so much room here that these teams have. And I want to see how they utilize it. You can see a limb. Man, I'm so mad that I didn't get to pull this Marauder. I tried so hard. So many pulls, and I could not get it. I know somebody in the chat feels my pain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I had done a community event and had gone some UC, and I had rolled for, it was when they first introduced those little companion buddies, like the little Shiba dog or like Godzilla and stuff. So I rolled for it. I got everything but the little companions. And then that night, Spring messages me. And he's like, oh, you're going to be so mad when I send you this. And I'm like, what? And it's a tweet link of them announcing like the Koenig, like car skins and stuff like that. where it was like guaranteed if you do an X rolls, you get the car skin. Right after I used all the UC, and I'm like, wow, I would have loved the car skins. And some of these players have some sick car skins. And a lot of people in chat probably really enjoy seeing it and stuff like that. But Baton making it easy with an M4 spray. 8 eliminations, possibly going to make it 9-10 now. They have 2 knocked. And they're actually starting to piece most of the lobby up right now, Jukes.
Oh, they're going to win this game. I think that they're already just looking too good to be stopped. 21st Century eliminated right there by the old gangsters. 6 eliminations for them. So, man, we're seeing some big point sponges here at the top. It's pretty wild to see. C4 did a great job putting up 7, right? Total points before they ended up going out, so good for them. But, man, look at this. Double-digit points from 2 squads in a 15-team lobby is pretty insane. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say 412 finishes this game with 17. What do you think?
17 total eliminations. Well, that's a bit of a stretch, but it looks like some of the people in the lobby are getting eliminated. Adrian getting a thirst onto it, but 412, I'm thinking they're going to end with 12 or so. My money is going to be on the fan club, of course. I think they're going to be around 15 elims for the game. They've been ones that have been hitting the shots and that sort of stuff. The only issue is just, obviously, 412. They're the only squad with a full 4-man. And I can't stress enough how important that is, especially when you go into competitions like PMPL, America's Championship, stuff like that. Everyone knows how many players are up on each squad. Everyone hawks the kill feed. Everyone watches who gets thirsted in the match. And hopefully the fan club has noticed that everyone else is down to 1, if not 2 players. Blue Tiam obviously has 3, but these players, you know, they're going to have to start creating habits of this sort of stuff of monitoring, you know, the feed and stuff like that, finishing players when they knock them, something that players can't stress enough in high-level play. Because if you can just make 1 less player on an enemy team, especially late game, it changes the way people play drastically.
100%. And right now, I'm just trying to study to see what these teams could be possibly thinking here. There's still so much room, so it's just going to be nothing but quiet time here, at least until probably the zone after this. We'll see. Depending on where this next zone goes, it could definitely shake up the lobby. It does go to the center, so we're going to see some pushes here and there, especially from the fan club, right? That duo is going to have to go straight up north. But 412 is definitely starting to spread their wings and apply a lot of pressure to the rest of this lobby. So let's see how they decide to do it. Meanwhile, OG chilling in the major compounds. That is still in this next circle. So I doubt we're going to see them move a muscle.
Yeah, I'd like to see, obviously, 412 can't see our perspective, but I'd like to see them maybe clear out old gangsters, because those 2 crate weapons, full level 3 gear for 2 players would kind of be insane in this late game right now. But unfortunately for them, they're going to opt to just chill on this north side. They are going to maybe go for the drops, but they're planning on, I think, just holding that north side of the road. That road goes all the way around half the zone. It's more so just having that little bit of an off angle for your team before the zone comes in. Because if you rotate too early, it leaves it open for someone in the back to come around you, trying to make sure that the zone closes. We have 1:20 left on that, and Old Gangsters is starting to just work to that warehouse that's still in, but Black Mambas, though, unfortunately, it's a solo, and I think they hear him now. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to make it on this rotate with the buggy.
No, it's going to be a tough one. You can see him just desperately just hugging the edge, trying to find some little lane to get on into the circle, but it's just not looking good at all. So, yeah, it's going to be really tough for Black Mamba. But who knows? Maybe he might be able to steal a couple of eliminations in the process. As we take a look at, hey, look at him. He's going to be go ahead and on the backside here. Not in this next circle, and says, nope, this is not the way. Let me just take my smoke buggy in this direction and get shot up in the process. He's like, okay, I'm done.
Yep. And at this point, I'm just driving into the zone. I'm not going to really chance my luck too much, but looks like he is going to go for a little bit of a nade play maybe. Ooh. Not enough time. He's going to force the 1v1, and Crow's playing this as cool as a cucumber. Nice damage with the nade, and grows a peak, so. 11 now.
That's number 11.
That number was what? 17 he wanted. Oh, nice.
That's
little
12.
freebie for him. We're getting closer.
Bo Baton gets knocked. That's not good. They're going to have to get that reset going here.
The zone shift. It's on to 412, thankfully, but Gunpain actually made it up onto the wall of the compound, I believe. So OG going to be forced to come out of the warehouse. It's not Now they proved it last match that OG is able to make these sort of pushes, but I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to do it. Baton and Crow's position on this far south side, or this north side, sorry. Overwatching Gunpain and Alim is, I think, just way too strong. So OG might have to just opt to play for the hillside where Jerway's fan club is. But only time will tell what they choose to do. Blue Tiam is kind of just showing they have had that ridge for the most part, the last 2 or 3 zones on the west side, and the zone shift is not really going to make a move much.
Yeah, it's not going to make a move much, but it's going to make OG move. You know, it's going to make OG move right into 412, into the jaws of 412. Kiddu's going to have to hit some shots here. He's going to have to bust out that weapon and just hit some crazy shots. And, oh, he did spot Gunpain.
Maybe a nade.
Yeah, a nade will do just fine. They don't see him. I'm surprised. They weren't even covering this area. That nade tapped him up pretty good. And you mentioned you wanted to see them kind of push old gangsters. But, yeah, I think with their spot, they just can't give it up, right? So I think.
Oh, but he got one.
Oh, he did get one. That is brutal. So old gangsters clutching it up, and now here come the smokes.
Yeah, I mean, it's the do or die play for him. OG has to get these, at least finish them for the elimination points, maybe get the knock onto Alim, and this opens up the game for the entire lobby of the big dogs. 412 are forced to take the fights, and he almost gets one. Down to just a solo player on OG, down to just 1 HP. Baton, he has 3 eliminations himself, but I'm not sure if Kidu's going to be able to get the finish. It's looking like a Blue Tiam, maybe third party, or a 412 full reset, but OG still somehow alive. I'm not sure if 412 Nomads is going to give up. I don't think they will, but it's not looking good for most of these squad shoots.
No, it's not. No, it's not. 412 has that full reset going on. He doesn't decide to take those shots. Nice little pre-fire there from Kiddu. He's going to kind of just get up on these little buckets here. Let's see what happens. Good old barrels. Let's see a limb. No utility at all, so he just has to sit and make it happen.
Yeah.
412 has to control all sides of this map here. They got 2 different ways to win it. Alim has to win this 1v1. He gets it pretty good, but nice shots. DBS,
Ooh,
1 more bullet's all it takes.
Oh,
Got him.
man,
So down he goes, and that was huge. So now that side of the map is completely cleared. Guess how? They have 14 eliminations, and there is 3 left here, Enigma.
Wow. I mean, you must have read the script or something for the day, but Twix down to 1 HP, 412 Nomads. I don't think they know that Junior's this close, but 8, they haven't finished him yet, Jukes. I'm not going to give it to him just yet. They're going to have to work for it, but it looks like working is not going to be hard at all. Wow. 17. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. The profit, whatever little lamp you rubbed is enough, I guess, for it, so. Nomads,
hey,
I mean, they popped off the first day, and they're showing that it wasn't just a one-hit wonder for him.
100%. I mean, going in and finishing with such a crazy elimination chicken dinner, they are going to be so set up. It's going to be hard to beat them at this point. This is halfway throughout the tournament. There's still plenty of games, right? They could still get knocked out of first place, but having such a massive lead is going to be so difficult to beat here. As we take a look at the replay, and man, they just controlled that side of the zone so well, and it's just crazy to see how effective they were just executing that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the team that was held up for 2 or 3 zones. It wasn't like they were there for the first zone and they got blessed and they just rotated in. They had to fight Level X. They came in, they fought off Black Mamba after they had the 4 Bros fight. They were able to rotate up onto the hillside. They made some amazing rotations as a squad and as team fighting. All of them had a pretty even kill spread for the most part on the round. It wasn't like it was one person carrying this squad together. I think just because, like you've said before, they've been together around a long time. They all know their habits and their antics. It's just showing that they know what they're doing, and some of these teams are, you know, honestly getting embarrassed at this point by me. Now, you know, we'll go back to the notion of, no, it's just PMCO. These teams are learning, but I think it's a good wake-up call for people being, hey, you know, this is the level of play that you should strive to reach, at least at this stage.
Yep, and we can take a look at here. Oh, I was wrong! It was 18 elimination points. Say what? I thought it was
pleasant
17
surprise.
on the dot. Hey, we'll take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. All right, look at that. 28 total points. 18 is definitely better than 17. And for Jerway's fan club, 13 with 13 total points, you got to be happy with that, especially for a team like Blue Tiam, right? Blue Tiam started off day 2 all the way pretty much at the bottom of the leaderboard, so a nice big bounce back game for them.
Yeah, but also, I mean, 4th place Old Gangsters, just, you know, it's not like they're not performing well. It's just they're not in that top 3 because some of these other teams are really popping off in the lobby, but they're keeping it consistent. YKG, of course, you know, we talked about their way of playing for this tournament and stuff like that, but Old Gangsters, in my eyes, might be the only team other than C4 that could actually contest 412 Nomads for that first place spot and that $6,000 that's online.
Yes, sir, indeed. You got to be able to make it happen here. YKG getting taken out early. Manic, the Finest 4. Saturn as well. Man, Saturn had a good solid start to the day. Let's see if they can bounce back. Level X too, man. Level X, again, I think this roster has a lot of talent on them. It's just, I think that maybe they're playing a little bit too ahead of this lobby. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, when I saw that last game in Erangel, just watching them stay in that compound rather than just prioritizing that hill, I think they were thinking this is a bigger, more intense lobby. And honestly, it's not a bad thing because, you know, we get to see the map feed. They don't. And if I was in a tournament like PMWI or something, there's no way I'm going up that hill because I'm thinking that hill has been taken for years already, right? But you know what? I think that they got to play this a little bit more flexible here in PMCO.
Yeah, I mean, they've done Titan series and stuff like that. They've played PMCOs and PMPLs before, but in my eyes, it's, you know, I'm not sure if it's them bringing on new players that's throwing them off or what, but yesterday, they only really had one good game. Everything else was either a goose egg or maybe 1 or 2 elimination points with it with 0 placements. So hopefully for them, we see more than just one game today because you're needing more than just 3 games in this entire tournament to qualify for that top 8. A lot of these teams near the bottom leaderboard are starting to prove themselves a bit in mind. Saturn Esports won the first game of the day. So, you know, a lot of these teams I feel are able to start making it more of a competitiveness for this 8th spot, this 7th, 6th, 5th spot. The top 4, you know, is essentially taken, but in my eyes, I'm needing to see more out of them. So Level X, we're watching you. Of course, we just got to see if you're going to make it happen.
Amen, brother. All right, well, this is the halfway part of this tournament, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Bam! And just like that, we're back. What's up, everybody? We are now reaching the second half of the PUBG Mobile Club Open. Last chance qualifiers to see which 8 teams are going to the PMCO Grand Finals. I'm Hot Chooks here with Enigma, bro. And this is getting interesting because we've already had 2 matches, and now we're getting into the other 2. And this is Sanhok coming up. This is that chance. This is that chance for these teams to put up some big points on the board here, Enigma.
Yeah, I mean, the Sanhok yesterday, we like seeing it end on that western island up the mountain. Obviously, it can end towards that camp spot and stuff like that, but hopefully either ends there or maybe a cave ending on that far south side, because Sanhok's one of the maps where if you really land on the edge and it shifts all the way across, you might as well go for those elimination points. So hopefully we could see that. I know players don't like seeing it. I love seeing it. But, you know, a cave ending is what I'm hoping for in this next game.
The dream, baby. Please. PUBG Mobile. 1K finish. That's all I want to see in Sanhok. Here we go. Match number 3. Let's get it going. Look at that plane looking mighty fancy up there. As we are now get to see the live ranking. And wow, look at the lead that the 412 Nomads has created for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, 77. We're only at 6 matches, so they're averaging over, 11 a game. Old Gangsters is a little bit behind them. C4 is right up next to that second place spot. But everyone else, I mean, I'm looking at 4 Brothers, Manic, Toxic for Life. We're seeing you at barely over the double-digit mark. You're barely reaching that 10-point threshold. This team in 8th is Blue Team. They're at 33. They've got triple the points of Toxic for Life. So hopefully these teams can start really switching it up. I'm seeing a bit of a contest drops again as well for this round. YKG is not at hot 10. Yeah, there was a 3-way, I think, fight there yesterday on the match, but 4 Bros still just contesting people off drop. The far south side is not something I would suggest. It's making me question, the ideas that are going through these players' minds, especially with someone like Leon being on the roster. Is it more so just we're trying to adapt to more, early game elimination points, or are we really just not doing our homework here? Oh, wow.
Man, literally the worst zone for them, too. Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we saw the southeastern side of that map in yesterday, right? It was completely empty, and it's completely empty once again, right? So teams could have easily just recognized that if they did their homework and be like, hey, let's just go this direction. No one landed there last time, and we could just loot up all this for free and move our way up north. And, but nobody recognized it and was able to make that adjustment. So it's crazy that we're seeing some hot drops here in Sanhok. Well, there's only 15 teams in this lobby, but it's PMCO, baby. I've seen crazier things.
Yeah, and luckily, I think, a saving grace for these teams is it's not going to end up like Level X and 412 last game, where you get a bit of the zone, you're able to kind of wait it out 5, 8, 10 minutes. This game, the zone's nowhere near you. You're either going to instantly rotate or you're going to take the fight instantly. And it looks like 21st Century, they already have a player set up. You can't see it too much, but they have someone set up on the north side, able to overwatch if 4 Bros tries backing away from this. But in my eyes, you're 4 Bros. You need to take this fight. You need to take it quick, pick up the 4 elimination points, and then make that track all the way across the map on Sanhok to even the first zone.
Gotta make some moves, baby. Gotta make some moves. And you can see Sick leaving Paradise. So C4 set up very, very nice in this zone here. Big chillin' over there up north. Rest of the teams are going to have to start moving their way in. 412 looting up the quarry area. So it's crazy to see a team that's, first place and are not taking one of those dominant positions, right? They know their role. They know where they like to drop. And they're really using it to their advantage here. And I will say, I am happy to see, at least we're not seeing 3 teams in boot camp like yesterday, right?
Yeah. And boot camp fights are a little bit more like whatever, it's a 4v4, but I mean, 3 teams at boot camp is just way too much. You're already just going to be shooting yourselves in the foot. And we saw, the team on the outside, I believe it was OG yesterday, reaping all the rewards on everyone. They basically got all 6, I think it was, out of 8 of the elimination, the players that were around in the lobby. But the finest 4 now opting to actually snake out C4 right below Paradise. A little bit of nade damage, but we got to see if he's going to hit more.
Bond trying to find one of these players slipping. So C4, man, getting on the aggressive side. Looking to take advantage of the split that the Finest Four have. They just got to make sure they don't put themselves in the sightlines of their remaining teammates. But I don't think they are. They're playing this very, very tightly. Pond's coming from the end. He spotted him. Uh-oh. OZZ gets taken down. OZZ, now you know me, a Vlop is really just putting in this work here. Uh-oh, the Finest Four player from that edge could be dangerous. C4's in big trouble here.
Yeah, Mafia, I mean, they don't even know he's there yet. No one's even turned to the left to see him. I think now they hear him.
He spotted him.
Oh my goodness, 4-1-2 as well. They're coming in. This might be disastrous streaks for both of these squads right now. Ooh.
Wow, and Mafia gets the knock. C4, so confident, but just getting picked apart here on this push.
Wow.
They're losing every single 1v1. And 412's coming. You can see Kai says, oh no, it's a third-party run.
Oh, and Payne, he's trying to get in his own whip, but no, that's it. Ashu beaming him off the little moped bike. So 4-for-0 trade. I think the main thing was Ashu's off angle with Avlop holding kind of an unconventional angle, because when you're near buildings, you expect them to be inside, next to a window, maybe proning in the closet or something, but Avlop opting to stay outside the building and just waiting for one of them to, you know, slip up, get a little bit careless and peek, and ultimately gave them the opening knock they needed for that fight. And oh, wait a second. OG doesn't know, I think. Oh, and he gets
it don't matter, bro. They don't need to know.
Oh,
they don't need to know. Oh, no, they got one of their players down. They got to watch out before he gets thirsted. Oh, and they save him in time, so.
Oh, wait.
Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, now it's a little bit of, okay, are we not having the headset on or something to hear these teams driving by? And thankfully, you know, Sanhok back in the day, no one used vehicles. Now, if you don't have a vehicle, you're kind of looking like a ranked player or something. So the Finest Four getting a little bit caught out by this OG slam. The old gangsters picking up 3 freebies, essentially, for their Sanhok match.
Unreal, man. These guys are just putting in a lot of work. I love the aggression from both gangsters. You know, they really know when to turn it up and take advantage of it. And uh-oh, this is one team you do not want to alert, and it's 4-1-2 Nomads. Here comes Baton, looking to get that third party going, and I think that is going to be the end for that squad. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, yeah, they still have one player remaining. It was T4L, not TF4.
Oh.
That got finished there from 4-1-2.
Well,
so old gangsters now just trying to mount a defense.
Yeah, what's crazy is 4-1-2 is holding a big spread here too. So it's not even like they're planning on opening an engagement. Oh, wow. Single tap shots. But it's not even like they're looking to take an engagement and fully fight them. They're looking to just hold them. 4-1-2 holds so much of a split here just outside of Paradise that you could honestly just be staying right outside the wall until the zone pushes you out. And what is old gangsters going to do? Get in the vehicle in front of you, try to take the fight? I mean, maybe that's the best situation, but 4-1-2 is looking like they hold all the cards in the deck right now.
Dude, 100%. Not to mention they're center and zone. They could decide to fight. They could just wait it out. And honestly, they have no business even fighting right now. They could just chill. You know, and this is good because I think 4-1-2 has really good awareness of when to fight and when not to.
Yeah. It's just
honestly, like, if they would have taken that fight with old gangsters, they know that the chance of them getting third party is pretty high too. So they're like, hey, you know what? Let's just share it for now. See what happens later.
Yeah, and I think Twisted for Life ended up rotating by 4-1-2 at some point as well earlier on, before the zone shift. So there was an opportunity of people, you know, third partying them, but we see YKG holding an immaculate split right now. I mean, Joey's off solo. We've said it time and time again. He's the player in my eyes that's able to play solo, direct his team, how, you know, where they should be and stuff like that. While 24K is, you know, just holding the backside up with it.
Oh, man, dude. I don't know if you saw it, but did you see that bow Tate there from Darwin?
Oh, no. There was...
Saturn, Darwin, all the way up north, bow-tating it up into the mainland.
Like
so that's what you got to do there in Sanhok, right? The bow-tate is where it's at. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, I mean, the botation, I like the ducky skin. I don't know if you have that one. I tried getting the Sakura,
that's the best one.
Like cherry blossom tree skin, but all I know is you know, the dolphin, the duck skin, any of those skins are just so cool. And this game has so many immaculate skins. I mean, the M4 skins, the player outfits, the vehicle whips, you know, it's just got it all. So love seeing the players. And, you know, for PMCO and stuff, we get to see players wear their own outfits. I obviously liked for competitive integrity, players having the same outfits, you can't recognize them, but it also shows a bit of individuality for these players. You know, they get to show, you know, some of the skins that they have that they rock, you know, in scrims and stuff like that. And it's always just great to see some older outfits that maybe aren't in the game anymore that these players do have.
100%. Bringing out some of the vintage retro fits. Saturn off the Botate. Getting taken out by Blue Tiam. So the Botate not looking beneficial because, man, Blue Tiam was waiting for it. But let's see what Andok can do. Andok on this off angle has to figure something out. But they're not looking like they have very much urgency to try to save their teammates here.
Yeah, I think it's just Andok took the shots on a Twix, didn't hit the shots. And at that point, I mean, your position's compromised. He's not going to peek you again if the player is smart enough. The two Saturn players that were at the compound, unfortunately, both of them got knocked. One of them caught out, and the other lost the 1v1. So if you're Saturn, it's essentially just, you know, you guys just didn't really clear the building that well. Now, Fantasy does look like he might be going for a little, you know, Saving Private Ryan play on the shoreline, but on Sanhok, you're really limited on the smoke grenades. I'm not sure if he's really going to be able to make it to that compound.
No, he will not. Oh, he's storming it. He's storming the beaches of Sanhok and gets shot up and says, I'm out. Sorry, guys.
Turned around. You're staying down. Just go in the water, and we'll leave you to it. Give him the elimination point at that point. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, it's nice for Blue Tiam. And both times that Blue Tiam has fought Saturn, I believe they've won it. So maybe a little bit of a steer around him, so to speak. We can see this east side of the zone congested, and it shifts all the way to the west side. 21st Century taking a fight that they're going to have to clean up fast.
See how fast they're going to clean it up. Oh, nice shots there, though, from Mr. J with a nice little S12K. Way to get it done there. So shutting him down. Here we go. Here's some Manic action. You know, we've seen them kind of struggle when it comes to team fights, but they got one under their belt. Let's see if they can continue. It's going to be tough, though, because the Jerways fan club, who has rocket launched themselves up the leaderboards here in day number 2, they are going to have that hill priority, and you can just see them with eagle eyes just searching and scouting for any prey below.
Yeah, but you see the fan club, too. I mean, they have the vehicles, they have the bike. They're just positioning themselves to, you know, if this team doesn't make the rotate instantly, we need to make sure that our rotate is able to happen. So Manic thankfully has a few vehicles. It looks like we're going to have to switch over, though, towards the center of the zone because 412 is taking the fight with Toxic for Life. Already one elimination down on him, and Crow's inside the building. They've instantly breached this compound, Jukes.
Here they go. Zeus coming in with the DBS. Ooh, gets really beat up by that nade, and that shuts down that push there. So 412 still going to stay alive here. Trying to shut it down. Classy, yeah, after that. Oh, runs away. Almost gets DBS.
Wait a second.
Crow wants to leave, but I don't think he can. He's still worried about so many of these other players across the water.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we can see all around the map when they're turning around and stuff like that, looking through doorways. Everyone's virtually able to see this compound. They already lost Gunpain. He had 2 of their eliminations. Unfortunately, they didn't even get the elimination point on the Classy, but you know, if you're 4-1-2, I think you just take that. You got the center compound. You lost only 1 player for it, and you know there's no one else there. So hopefully for them, you know, they're able to start putting pressure back on those teams that decided to thirst Gunpain.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see what the play is going to be.
Oh,
Carnage! Getting some nice shots there onto Manic. Crow as well, getting some onto Tiam. And we're going to see things start to heat up here. This is still only Circle 3, very early, but I'll tell you what, PMCO is just non-stop action. Here we go, Fantasy. Oh, yeah, I gotta pre-fire that. Gotta pre-fire that.
I was gonna say, you know, this edge of the zone still isn't clear for Manic, but if you're gonna be peeking a little bit too slow like that, it's just, I mean, why even bother playing the compound? Saturn now just down to the solo off onto the rock angle. On the right side as well, we could see Manic 6 elimination points, the most in the lobby. Toxic for Life, or TF4, sorry, 4 elimination points as well. So some of these teams that are needing the points are starting to get the eliminations, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to correlate that with getting the placement points later on.
Lazzy,
A little bit of a
nice
freebie.
shots. Gonna get that confirmation. Look at this circle. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Right on the bridge. That is brutal. You see Classy there under the water. He's going to be holding that bridge position. 4-1-2 in a good spot. This is a huge opportunity for all these teams in this circle to soak up some crazy, crazy points right here. And honestly, one team in particular I got my eyes on, it's going to be 4Bros. It's their time to really have a bounce-back game. No excuses.
Yeah, I mean, they're the only team essentially on that west side of the zone. They have all the hillside. The only problem is, if teams rotate across the water into Hot 10, doesn't seem like that'll be the case. But YKG, the team that was centered on the zone, had a huge immaculate split, not even in this next zone shift, having to fight Jerway's fan club. So now it's essentially just, do you even take this fight or you try to rotate in? It doesn't seem like they're even going to have a choice for it. JFC now doesn't even have their own vehicles to rotate, and I think at this point, if you're YKG, you might just have to smoke the vehicle and try to get out with just one player maybe making it.
Ooh, I think that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to send it with 2. It's smoking. That's really troublesome.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to be losing players like crazy, but barely able to snake it into this next zone. But Kuzi goes down. That's huge. And Fears has to run. He's forced. No choice. Got to run in the wide open and make a play.
Yeah, I mean, Fears thankfully getting saved by Chico. Chico getting knocked to the zone, I believe. But, it's still 2 players up on YKG. Joey's the one that didn't get hit at all. Getting nice shots on a Black Mamba, the team that I think just forgot that there was, other teams on this east side of the zone. Manic as well holding the northern side. And I'm not sure if any of these teams are going to make it to the compound. Blue Tiam actually holding it down. This only saving grace for these eastern teams, not even getting a bite of that. I mean, all these teams on this east side are just forced to basically just bleed out to the zone.
Oh, so rough. Not the situation that they were looking for here, and that's the brutality of Sanhok. You just never know where that circle's going to go. And, yeah, look at that. YKG, even though they hit some great shots and put in some great work, I mean, they lose quite a bit of players just like that. So stuck with only 1 with 5 eliminations. Yeah, this is brutal. Like I said, I think it's really time we see Blue Tiam and 4Bros turn up the aggression here. And the crazy part about that is even though with this crazy circle, 4-1-2 is still in the mix. And don't forget about old gangsters underneath this bridge. Look at that. You see that Cybertruck right there. Big chilling in the water. Next zone does come on up, and it does go to the 4Bros Island.
Wow.
This is huge for them.
Yeah, and Blue Tiam was a team that was actually splitting that north side towards Hot 10. Maybe they opt to swim back, but 4Bros really just, looking up, saying thank you because we have been having it rough. OG now down to just 2 players. Daku's knocked, but I don't think he's going to be getting picked up anytime soon. OG now having to basically hold off maybe 3 or 4 teams, maybe a few solos, but still forces to be reckoned with just under the bridge. It's not even like your position is anything too crazy. You're having to fight for scraps, essentially, just for the edge of the zone. And 4-1-2, being the team next to you, I would want to be on the complete opposite side of the map with them in the lobby. So hopefully we could see, old gangsters make some magic happen, but seeing all these teams start making these plays, it's not looking likely.
Not looking likely indeed. Oh, my goodness. Here come the Nomads. They're going to have to try and go for a crazy bridge cross here. They don't have a choice. Maybe they can just try and park it. They actually move quite a ways up here. 4Bros trying to get those shots, not able to get those knocks. Oh, now they're starting to get beat up. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. 4Bros, they did a beautiful split here. They're controlling this bridge and dominating, something that they desperately needed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, as that was happening too, Blue Tiam opted to make a little bit of a Navy SEAL play across the water, clearing out OG. Not sure if they know Black Mamba, though, snaking up behind them. And now it's a 2v2 fight on this bridge side that could possibly determine the game for 4Bros if they can clear out Blue Tiam here on the bridge.
100%. Let's see what the play is going to be. 4Bros, yeah, just working right now onto Blue Tiam. They got to get that finish.
Nice
What a nade, though, onto Bros Beast. That's going to be tough. Leon's going to wait. He wants to get this res, but he doesn't want to overexpose himself because if he goes down, both of them go down. So, hey, They're chilling for now. They don't have to worry about that nade just yet. They're going to need some support from their teammates because Blue Tiam's the one that's in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they did get a little bit of a trade knock, a bit of a saving grace for them, but, I mean, it's always a timer. The
Molly.
zone shifted just to the west again. Xenos with the nade. Oh, he cancels it. Got to hit this. You got to start making the move to the zone. You've got 30 seconds left on the clock, a bit more than maybe some people would want it to be, but, you know, Poppy Triste essentially having to play spoiler right now for this soloed player, Blue Tiam.
See what's going to happen here. Stage 6, 12 seconds left on the clock. Poppy Triste is just waiting. He wants to get these points. Uh-oh, he found a nade. He found a nade. Here we go. He has it. He's going to lace it. Oh, just a little overcooked.
Another.
How about that one?
I think he didn't really cook that one at all. He's forcing it out. 1v1 situation. UMP versus an M4, but Poppy Tree's getting shot in the back. Oh! A little bit of a freebie point. I think the rest of Blue Tiam helped him out, but unfortunately getting caught out. Oh, and he actually made it around that mountain in the water, so maybe able to just snake it out for placement points for Black Mamba here.
He can get a whole bunch. I mean, he is super safe, so considering where this circle is, he's got nothing to worry about. So let's see what the play is going to be. As right now, the big battle, obviously, is Blue Tiam versus the Four Bros. Four Bros need to get extra hyper-aggressive. They need to take all the points they can. Does he not see that player? Yeah, he does. Oh, and he misses the shots!
Yeah, I think it was Junior wasn't looking at him, and he opted to just shoot him, and fortunately just butchering the spray. Megatron maybe getting caught out, doesn't get hit at all. And look at the bridge, though. Even though it's Blue Tiam versus Four Bros, I'm seeing 2 or 3 solos either up or down below in the water, so it's not like it's just these two teams left alive. It's a matter of who really makes the trades happen better more. But looks like the zone shifted centers, of course. Four Bros is having to condense down even further. I'm not liking that they haven't really dealt with Blue Tiam yet. There's not much time for you really to be having this saving grace of, okay, I'm able to just play back and have Overwatch. Because now you're all in nade range. You're all able, you know, to be just wiped out with virtually one good nade. So we'll have to wait and see. All these players. Now there goes Poppy Triste. Unfortunately, had to rotate in from the water. Good little snake play from them. But hey, 7 points total for Black Mamba there. I'm liking it. We're down to just the 5 teams. Only one squad with 4 players up. But everyone else still has a chance to, you know, to make it happen.
Who's going to win this match? Let's see. Four Bros, like you mentioned, you know, having a really good position. They're not getting a ton of eliminations, but they're taking as many as they can. Honestly, this is already way more than they've done all day today. Joey still alive, avoiding the nade. Throws a Molotov in return. And barely misses that. So YKG Joey all by himself, just being problematic here for Four Bros.
Ooh,
the shots,
he
dude.
gets one.
Oh my goodness. He should be able to get this first aid off. Yes, he will. Yeah, Blue Zone shouldn't just tap him just yet. Okay, he's good. But he's going to have to start running here. He knows it. Stun grenade?
Blue Tiam is going to be able to hold the ridge, and it's essentially going to be Joey, and I think a 1v1 spot here. And this is the player I wouldn't want to be against because he hits shots like that. Oh, and Blue Tiam makes the move. One of them gets beamed by Leon. It's a DBS versus UMP. They're not peeking just yet. It's a 2v, I think, 2 situation right here. And I mean, this could go either way, Jukes.
100%. Who is going to win this game? 2 solos, 4 Bros taking their time, and they're getting a full reset here. They actually do end up losing 1 player. We're going to see Junior throw the Molotov. How do these 2 players not see each other? That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think it's Core is just too scared, wanting to play spoiler, but oh, the nade. Wait a second. He still has a bit of utility. Oh, I think Junior knows now. There's one in the water.
He got him.
One's knocked on the right. I'd like to see them almost shake hands and fight Four Bros. Oh, and I think that's what's going to happen. They don't know that Core is there. And Junior might, I mean, he maybe force the 1v1 Cores. Needing to make a play now, but Four Bros still having a bit of control in this situation. They haven't lost it just yet. A few mollies coming out. And it's only a matter of time till the zone pushes them out. Junior going for it, loses it with the DBS 1v3 situation now, and this is looking like a Four Bros win. Only a matter of time. The UMP's not going to do anything. Leon clutching it up for the squad. You know, Four Bros, the team that, you know, we thought they were going to do well the last match, putting in work this game. So nice to see for them. Good points they needed, too, to come back into the game.
they needed them bad. They needed them real bad. So, and honestly, right on time, right? We officially hit the second half of this tournament, and it's clutch time, right? It's clutch time, and they did exactly that. So I can't wait to see where they land on the leaderboards. Obviously, first place is pretty far out the way at this point, but top 8, it's right there. So hopefully we can see them move on, because that's one of the teams I definitely want to see in the grand finals for sure.
Yeah, and it's all about, in my eyes, just taking the next step, making sure you're able to get to that next portion of the tournament. And this is the last chance qualifiers. It wasn't like, this is the end of the days for you. You play this, you move on to the next stage, and hopefully, you learn from your mistakes in this portion of the tournament to not finish, in that 8th place. Everyone, when it comes to PMCO Grand Finals coming up, you should be aiming for that first spot. You shouldn't be thinking, hey, we only need to finish 6th, 8th, whatever the number is in your mind, because that's how competition should be. You should be aiming to be the best, and the only way to do it is to put in the work here and grow from there.
I got to agree with you. I mean, you're preaching to the choir, brother, because the chances of trying to get that crazy comeback finish and steal first place, it'll never happen if you have the mentality of all we got to do is get top 8, Yeah. You got to be able to make those plays. You got to play aggressive. And Blue and Four Brothers, right? 18 points is solid for them. I would have liked to see them soak up a little bit more eliminations, but they had some trouble. I mean, just executing, right? As soon as players were able to actually, swim up to their bridge, they couldn't really just evict them earlier rather than later. But still, very well done for them. Nice from Blue Tiam, to be honest, to be able to put up 14 in a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean, 9 elimination points. They were the team that we were watching that was more along that 8 range, 9. They weren't on the first page starting today. But now after this game, I think they might have secured themselves somewhere into that top 8. Obviously, we're past the halfway mark. These teams need to start, making point games like this happen, where you're dropping more than just 2 or 3 kills. You're getting only 1 placement point. It's a matter of what your team's going to be doing from here. So love to see from them. Obviously, we look at the latter half of the board. C4 Esports at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Something that I'm not expecting to see. I don't think the Miramar was anything too crazy from them either. I think they only had a few elimination points. But Jerway's fan club, 0-0-0 across the board. Not something I like to see either, Jigs. But hey, I mean, they did well in the other matches today, I guess. Whatever the case may be. But you're needing to do more than just that, in my eyes.
Yeah, you want to put up some points, but you know what? It's Sanhok. You never know what's going to happen there. But you know what's coming up next, guys? It's Erangel, the final match of the day. I hope you guys are excited. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. boy, here we go. Match number 2, the final one for today. And oh boy, this is going to get crazy because we're seeing some shakeups here on the leaderboards. Hopefully we can kind of catch that live rig. We would get a little bit of a glimpse of it before the game ends, or the game starts here in just a little bit. We're going back to Erangel, and in your eyes, right, which teams do you think have had the most like progress so far?
Well, progress itself can be measured in different ways. Obviously, if we're looking at today's standings, in my eyes, it's going to be Blue, Tiam, and Saturn. They've moved up a lot in the placements, but in terms of their overall maybe grasp of the game, I mean, I'd have to go with the Old Gangsters. They're the team that's near the top, someone that hasn't been an established team before, but is showing consistency not only on one day. So for them, in my eyes, they're the most, consistently improved team over the first 2 days here for last chance qualifiers. But going into this third portion of the days, we're going to have to see if they're able to keep it up. In my eyes, they'll be able to, but maybe other teams will maybe be able to take a playbook out of their end, start getting consistent like them. So, my eyes, it's a little sketch, but thankfully for them, they're able to make it happen.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so excited to see them because one thing I like about Old Gangsters is that they show that they can really just turn up that aggression. You know what I'm saying? They can really flip that light switch and make the plays when they need to. So here we go, though. Final match here of day number 2 of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Last Chance Qualifiers. I'm going to tell you guys one more time to make sure you're following all the socials and then use that hashtag PMCO so we can see what you guys are talking about. We get to see the live rankings, and you can see 412 Nomads are going to be so hard to catch up to. Honestly, it's really up to a team like Old Gangsters, right? If they want to get that $6,000. I mean, YKG, they were hunting down some of that cheddar, but to catch up to the Nomads at this point, it's going to be one heck of a task. I think it's chicken dinner time right now for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about getting a chicken dinner to at least get close to them. I don't even know if you win around with maybe 15 eliminations, you're not even close to them still. So in my eyes, I'm really looking at Blue Team. They've jumped up to 5th place, 1 point behind YKG. Wow. Had a stellar first day. The second day, of course, YKG hasn't been too crazy on the kill feed and stuff like that. But Jerway's fan club, 7th place. We also see Saturn Esports brought it up into the 8th position, 37 points for them. But look down below, the finest 4, Level X, and now 4 Brothers in contention for that 8th place spot. Unfortunately, the last 2 teams on that leaderboard were nowhere near, really. They have to get a win, but I'm liking seeing these teams make it more so. Okay, we're getting to that top 8, but someone eliminated, I think, on the map just now. It looks like Baton maybe just got a freebie on a Saturn, and this is a team that I think they played just a little too passive. And now, obviously, fighting off drop is a little more so RNG based. You're going for a certain gun. Hopefully, you get a vest. But losing the 1v1, especially to Baton, I mean, 412 is just showing to the lobby that they're the force to be reckoned with right now.
Oh, they're putting that money in the bank already, man. They're looking really good here. So, yeah, remember, guys, top 8 is the goal to see if you're going to be able to make it to the PMCO Grand Finals. And like you mentioned, 4 Bros with that one game. If they did not have that game under their belt, there would have been such a crazy gap, right? But that one game that we just saw here in Sanhok, rocket launched 4 Bros in contention for top 8. And that's something that they needed to do. So that's out the way. Now it's all about putting some good, solid, consistent points on the board. Or maybe one more pop-off game. Maybe even 2.
Yeah, I mean, you win the match. It's okay, everyone applaud, pat yourselves on the back, but recognize that, hey, just because you won a match, you're still not even top 8, which is crazy to say that we've only played now 8 matches over the course of these 2 days. But in my eyes, it's okay. Hopefully, it's a bit of a confidence boost. Hopefully, no one gets a little too hot-handed, I guess you'd say, and think that they're full of it. I think that's one other thing that we don't talk about enough is obviously the nerves of if you're performing poorly. But if you're performing well, are you able to really limit yourself like teams like Old Gangsters and Nomads have shown, where it's even if you get these high elimination games where you're getting, the positioning that you need, you're not stretching your hand out too far and really costing your team valuable points down the line.
Oh, yeah. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day, right? You got to get those consistent points, and you got to reduce those mistakes the best you possibly can. And I think we've seen some teams, right, step up to the plate and make those recognitions and adjustments, but it's just so hard to do, especially in a lobby like PMCO, because PMCO is so unpredictable. I mean, we're already seeing, like we mentioned earlier, 15 teams in this game, and we're seeing like half the lobby gone by Circle 3, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, that was Miramar.
It
wasn't even one of the lower maps, but bit of a freebie maybe. You gotta hit the rest of the shots. Nice spray from Jassa. And Kai's not going to be able to make it up. Maybe he actually pushes the hill, try to prevent the thirst. I'm loving this play from Fan Club right now. Goes for Lemon, but gets rolled by Jassa. I liked it, Jukes. It just didn't work out well, okay? I'll say it. Jassa just absolutely destroyed him with an AK. I think it was a headshot, too, on the hipfire. So if you're wanting to keep your player alive, 100% that's the play. He prevented him from getting thirsted on the wall. Unfortunately, Jassa is just a better player right now. So really clutching up for Toxic for Life. Team that is around the edge of contention, I'm pretty sure. But Dark now coming in, and unfortunately, the team that I wanted to perform well getting just caught out, losing 2 players in the first zone.
That's tough. That's tough. And you're right. That is definitely the play. That was step 1. Step 2 is you got to be able to get that knock in. If you're not able to do it, man, now it's 2 players out, which is really tough. But more often than not, I think you got to go for the safe here, especially with considering like where you're at on the leaderboards. You don't want to be stuck with 3. You want to have all 4 up. So it was a risk. It didn't pay off, but sometimes that's the game, right? You got to be able to take risks.
Yep. Well, in my eyes, too, it's, someone's going to be at the top, which means someone's going to have to be at the bottom leaderboard. You're not going to have every game being a top 3 performance. Now, some teams here, like Nomads and stuff like that, have shown that that's sort of a possibility. But at the end of the day, I mean, any of these teams can be eliminated by anyone. It takes just one small mistake, which everyone makes. No one's a robot here, I think. Some of these players look like they are with how many elimination points they're getting. But in my eyes, it's just, being able to mentally prepare yourself, I guess you could say, for it. And Ashu, I mean, this guy is hitting some beams. Sanhok, he had a few eliminations last map. And this map, I mean, he just made it look easy on that car spray.
Yes, he did, man. I'll tell you what. Each stage has just gotten better and better and better. I mean, we're seeing the gun skill increase overall. I think this is probably the highest gun skill PMCO that I've seen in a minute, I think rotations at this level, timing, all that needs to get worked on, but the gun skill is definitely there. That's going all the way down the line. And we're going to see, look at this, Ronnie with the really tight peaks, getting some nice shots downrange with that Scar 4X. He might pop about this vehicle. That's a really, that's a tough push. Honestly, Ronnie, Molly. One Molly. There it is.
Oh,
got him.
It is.
That's too short.
Doesn't go around. But Core has
Here comes
a
the nade, though.
He's
Yep,
in
back it up.
Here. Oh, bang! That's it. Oh, he didn't cook it well enough.
No, he threw that too far. Ronnie, take your time. Take your time, Ronnie.
Oh, man.
Ronnie, take your time. Okay, got one.
His teammate got a few shots in him, and Twisted for Life getting caught out right now. And oh my goodness, Ashu, his teammate gets shot off the back of the buggy. Known, who is up on top of the compound, making a great off-angle play happen. And now it's just one player up for the Finest 4.
Yeah, Finest 4, you could just sell this energy. It's just not there yet, right? Because you had 2 different players. You had 2 players focused on one play, and the other 2 focused on different, If you're going to make a commitment like that, just send the squad and make something happen. But, unfortunately, they were a little bit more split up than I think they realized and weren't able to capitalize on that. Now it's just one player up left. Let's see what he can do. Ooh. Twisted.
Nice shots.
Bop, bop, bop. Goodbye.
Nice. I'm not sure if he'll reach core in time. He's bleeding out kind of. Oh, the zone ticks. I think he's done, though. And, yeah, that's it. I mean, Twisted Militia, thankfully picking up those 4 elimination points, not letting Toxic for Life, make that sort of play. Because as soon as I'd seen a player drive that coupe up onto a rock, in my eyes, it's a horrible play. Because you're ISOing yourself out. And thankfully, the nades took a bit to land, but they did land eventually, and it gave them the elimination points.
100%. Okay, look at that. Toxic for Life completely eliminated. And now it's just Blue Tian with 3 eliminations, looking really nice to start things off. Man, they made a good jump, right? Now they're in that top 8, and they're looking to get some good points on the board, so they're not going to worry about the rest of the day. In Circle, it looks like we're going to have a nice little farm finish, okay? Little farm, little potato hill finish. That's going to be fun to watch. Let's see how that turns out. But, man, 2 teams already out. This is so crazy. In stage 2, right? There's so much room on this map.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of these teams were thinking it was going to shift towards the Quarry, Gatka side of the map. All of them hopefully make that edge rotate around, kind of backtrack maybe where they came from. Teams like Black Mamba and Blue Tian maybe rotate north, come around Potato Hill into farm, try to fill space. But 4Bros right now opting to just go straight in. It's 412 Nomads in front of them, holding this, Pachinki spot. And I know so many teams that land Pachinki, they absolutely love this hill because it allows you to rotate anywhere on Pachinki, allows you to take a center spot in the zone. Most zones are close enough to it. He's going for the spray. Gun Pain, not really finding the shots in on him, but there's still 1 player left behind. I'm not sure if they know that just yet. Might be able to play Spore, but Lori getting knocked, jumping out of the car. Thankfully, he might get res, but I'm actually maybe seeing 2 players knocked on 4Bros.
Oh, 4Bros is hurt real bad. Coming off a solid game, and they are just getting shredded. Do they have any vehicles? Yeah, 412 has 1, and that's Crow. A monster player, not making the push. Beast is so far away.
Yeah, I think there just wasn't enough for him to be in the car. I think it was just a 2-seater coupe. So he got left behind, and they didn't even make it out. So at that point, it's, okay, why don't we just fight this next time? Right now, it's these decisions. We don't have many games left for you to make these sort of mistake calls, I guess you could say, on taking fights. Because now it's just Beast, 0 elimination points. And, I mean, you maybe get 1. But against Nomads, they're the team that's in first. It's not like you're going to be passing them with just that 1 elimination point. You need to start cleaning it up. And with only 4 games left for them, it's just a little too undoable in my eyes right now.
Ooh, that's not looking good at all, man. Not looking good at all for 4Bros. So this could have been their big bounce back in the game. They could have gone in tomorrow, chilling in top 8, with a little bit of sweat off of their back. But now it's just, it's going to be looking brutal tomorrow. They're going to have to clutch it up. 4 games,
yep.
And they're going to need another game that they had in that Sanhok if they won't even want a chance at making it into top 8.
Yeah, a team that's also on the edge is Level X, trying to take, their little shots at Nomads, but not even finding a knock themselves. They were kind of baiting the bodies, I think. Little loot boxes that 412 Nomads were looting, but as this is happening, Level X not even in the zone, so they're going to have to rotate. And as this is happening, the zone's just about to close. I'm seeing Saturn already start to set up for the farm bridge, and look at that. Center's directly on a 21st Century, a team that badly needs these points.
Yes, they do. So this is that dream, right? This is one of those scenarios that you're just like, oh, thank you, please. Because, man, you can't ask for anything better. So you got to take advantage of it, right? So time to go ahead, just stay calm, make the calls, and start making some plays. Because you want to finish this game, not just with the chicken dinner, but with some solid eliminations as well. And look at that. I mean, Nomads are on the edge, and look how comfortable they are. They don't even mind taking these shots right now because they're like, yeah, we're going to get into the zone, no problem.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, too, is just some of these teams are used to it in scrims or maybe previous tournaments. When you play a spot before and you play it throughout, maybe there was a few errors, you try to remember those errors. And then it comes to, okay, we play this spot a certain way. And some of these teams, YKG, they've played these edge spots a lot more than others. And Level X right now, it's showing that their experience is not really as much as it is with 412 Nomads. You talked about comfortability. That's a huge thing in competitive play. And these teams right now, some of them don't look comfortable at all. And that's the point. PMCO, we're talking, first stages for you. Hopefully by tomorrow, those nerves will be a lot less so you can start performing for your squad.
100%. Now let's take a look to see how we're going to finish off this performance. Joey goes down to 412. Chico takes out Carnage, and this is going to be going some nice back and forths here. Fears looking for a little cheeky off angle. Going to throw some util, try to support his teammates. Oh, Fears did get lit up there in that process. Man, I'll tell you what, 412, even though they're in just literally one of the worst spots possible, these guys can hit their shots. Crow's looked at his vehicle, and that's what he needs to do, is just get into it. Throw the smoke.
Yeah,
you have no choice.
Yeah, the thought process, even we can see it instantly. They're thinking of it before us of just, okay, smoke the vehicle, maybe try to prevent the res, but I need to make sure I can get out of this. And I don't know if that's him himself individually thinking that, or maybe it's their IGL saying it, but it's just immaculate gameplay from them. And thankfully, YKG is another team that has that sort of mindset. They're able to get their reset on Joey. They're still 4-man up. but it's all about applying the pressure. That allows 412 to get in. Level X just caught in between, looking like, hey, why are you here? You just got steamrolled. So Level X now, 0 eliminations, only 1 player alive. And 412, it's like you said, just making a casual stroll in now, right in the zone, and it's OG now they're having to go against.
Here they go. 412. Starting to make that press onto OG. Almost goes for the run over. Oh, gets DPS'd right out the vehicle. So they lose a player. That's Baton as well. A monster performer for them. So just some little bit of a misplay, I think, for 412. But you know what? When you're the top team in the lobby, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, and I mean, Kidu, I like seeing there as well. He's 1v2 in the nade battle, but hits the shot there as well with the S12. 1v1 situation. I think he's about a 1v4 Nomads. Unfortunately not, but OG, immaculate play. Kidu gets the knock. He lets the guy jump out of the vehicle before he shoots. He goes for the nade play. He knows that tree in the vehicle is going to get naded. He rotates off of it, and then he takes aggression because he knows his teammates are next to him. So stellar stuff from them. Unfortunately, sad for 412 Nomads, but we've talked about them enough, to be honest. They've got insane games that they can go back through and look at.
Yeah.
This game is a little bit of a blip in the radar.
I mean, it's not even a bad blip either, right? They still got 5 points, so it's not like they ended with the goose egg. And honestly, that might even be enough. That might be enough. They can still win first place probably with how many points they have and not even play tomorrow. So they are big chilling, just having fun with it. The rest of the teams, though, that are trying to hunt them down desperately need these points. If YKG wants to make something magical happen, put some more money in the bank, they're going to need this chicken dinner here, and they're going to need it with a lot of eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the map right now. They have a bit of a spread on the southwest side of zone. A lot of these compounds actually just to the north of them are free, but 21st Century holding the best spot in zone right now. Obviously, Old Gangsters has a pretty good spot on that northern hill, but it's all these teams on the east side too still having to make the rotated. Manic kind of caught on the edge. I'm not even sure if they have vehicles. I see at least 1 buggy, 2 buggies, but if I'm them, I would honestly be focusing more on the zone rather than shooting Saturn.
100%. You can see Saturn able to find that shack. They're going to lose 2 players in the process. So Darwin's going to throw down that smoke, just trying to buy some time for him. But it's going to be a beautiful finish here. This is a very interesting circle. There's still a lot of places that can be held. You can see Black Mama's going to be holding this ridge line. And Papi Tristes has eyes just completely downrange here. And he's going to be a problem for these teams, I guarantee. Oh, Saturn with the kind of crazy push. He survives. Yeah, I mean, wow.
I mean, the solo's already at the shack. I think he's just trying to send it by him and regroup at the shack. But it's Manic, and I believe it's Blue Tiam on that east side. They're not even in. And with this recent addition of, this eastern side of the map where C4 is playing and stuff, it adds a lot more potential for people to work this mountain where Black Mama's at. But the issue is, giving yourself enough time to work through it. Because right now I'm seeing 3, 4, 5 squads just basically covering this east side of the cliff, whether you're in or outside of it. And it doesn't leave much room for error for you, especially when you're peeking and trying to get knocks.
100%. You know what's something I noticed here at PMCO? Look how many teams have lost a single player. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Almost every single squad is down a member except for 3 teams. And this is only in stage 4. So the aggression is just so much crazier here because teams should just see some player. They're like, they don't even care about strategy. They're like, nah, we're pushing, baby. And we're taking them out.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a team like Blue Tiam or Old Gangsters, I mean, 5 eliminations for you to give up 1 player, I think it's worth in my eyes. And oh my goodness, Papi Tristes getting it between his eyes by Xenos. Mini action. I mean, you've talked about it before on PMPL from what I've heard. The mini on Miramar, obviously this isn't Miramar, but the mini is a force to be reckoned with right now. And I think people sleep on it too much.
100%. I mean, honestly, I think that these teams have seen the light. I think it was Tony K, Vampire Esports. When it comes to PMWI, that was the game changer. That's where the mini just became the truth. And now we see so many players picking it up, trying to steal some eliminations with it. A couple little pop, It is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Nice there, nade. And here he goes for the push, looking to just soak up these points.
Yeah, and I see Cleon. He actually stuck to have the nade out, so because he heard Nepali so far back, and I think they know he's on one of the buggies. Which player is going to lose it? Doesn't even get a shot off into him. Blue Team getting 2 freebie eliminations as well, and some cars, I think. So good play from them. They might be able to rotate in the next zone. And some of these teams on the edge, like C4, might have to battle it out with Black Mamba.
That was a great play from Blue Team. I love to see the aggression there, right? Because you know what? We know the timing that we have on the circle. Let's finish them out, and then we can push. And let's get those confirmations, because honestly, even trying to make it to this next zone may not be easy, but they got the skills to pay the bills with that buggy. And the timing, so perfect that they avoid, getting taken out. Well, I believe one player does, at least. And that's going to be the final one up. Sick with the long nade.
Kobe. Oh,
just a little too short.
Almost Hail Married it, but I think the other player drove centered more towards Saturn. One of those shacks on the edge, but fortunately didn't make it. There's still the one up, though. Might be able to snag an extra placement point or two. Not sure if the buggy's still on, but the fan club unfortunately getting wiped out by Joey. YKG almost lost 2 players. They're able to get the reset, but C4 now on the back foot against Black Mamba.
Let's see what happens here. Is unknown. Got that nade locked and loaded. Throws it on over. Misses the mark. So a lot of blind nades here. And Sick pretty lit up. Going to go ahead and head right back down with his teammates. And wait it out. Stage number 5. And it's so crazy. With this much room on the map, I know there's not a lot of coverage. But man, all these teams just still going at it nonstop.
Yeah, and I mean, the zone itself, it's a lot of, I think, just going to be pod shots at each other for the most part now. The only fight that could maybe happen would be this one with C4 and Black Mamba. But for the most part, I think we're just going to be waiting on the zone shift. YKG's got a really nice spread right now overlooking the 21st Century compound. But if the compound's still in, I could see this being a huge game for 21st Century, who, by the way, has all 4 members, but 0 elimination points. Half the lobby is already eliminated, and the other half of the teams that are in are missing a few players. So I'm wanting to see, some sort of gun start getting shot at some point over the next, minute or two.
100%. There goes level X. Blue Team had the most with 8, and now they only have 1 player up. So regardless, it's going to be a good game for them, right? Especially consider it's actually a great day for them. So Blue Team really stepped up. I said it on day 1 that felt like just by looking at their play style that this was going to be one of the dark horse squads, and they are proving that to be factual here because they're climbing up slowly and slowly. The next zone does come on up, and look at that, dude. 21st Century, big chilling in the center zone.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for them now, we know what this. Oh, that was a little bit sketchy. I thought he was going to get knocked for a second, but unfortunately for them, it's. You only get 10 points for a win. If you're only dropping 3 or 4 kills, it's not going to be a lot, but Unknown is having to hit those shots. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's starting to make me question a bit of, is Black Mamba really going to win this fight? You have the uphill advantage, but Payne now actually taking the fight to him. UMP versus DBS. A little bit of pot shots going off. Payne's not hitting him at all. He gets the last little bit of a spray, but wait a second, but Jazzy Boy's not going to peek. He's 1 HP. Oh, man.
Wow. I can't believe Payne did that.
I'd be screaming.
Dude, I'd be screaming right now. I'd be like, yo, how are we 3 people and I'm going 1v2 right now? That was crazy. If it went the other way, Payne's gone. So, a pretty interesting turn of events here. And,
no.
Are you kidding me?
But Blue Team, the player that was on the edge that they couldn't nade out, absolutely beating an OG. Now as well, slamming the 21st Century combo. 21st Century losing a player. OG not even really. I think they had actually maybe lost 1 player eliminated, maybe from YKG. It's not even 21st Century still. And oh my goodness.
Shot.
Kidu is a beast with the S12K this game. I mean, I'm not seeing him miss really any shots.
100%. I think every 1v1 we've seen with him with the S12K, he's won it. Like, he's not messing around. But now look at this, right? 21st Century, how long did they have this spot to themselves, right? How long did they have this compound completely to themselves and not able to take advantage of it? And wow, gets a knock, gets naded, no teammates even near, and old gangsters just take the best spot all by themselves. But oh, they're so focused on this fight. YKG said, we're going to time this perfectly, baby. It's time for us to take the big spot in this lobby. And here comes Joey with that DBS.
Yeah, I mean, Kita, we talked about him being insane with it, but the DBS just reigning supreme there. 2v4 situation. Now, there is the solo on 21st Century off on this, like, northeast little corner of the compound in the one stack, but I don't think he has any angle on it to try to help OG in this fight. So YKG, they just need a little, take a little bit of a breather, take your time, try to get a bit of pod shot, nade damage off, and then go for the wipe. Because if they win this fight, they're in the spot to win out the match.
100%. But they want to do it sooner rather than later. They don't want to get caught in another third-party situation here. So YKG, I did say, right, if they want to be able to have that shot at that $6,000, it's chicken dinner time with a ton of eliminations. I don't know if they're going to get a lot of eliminations here, but they're looking very well poised to win this game. I mean, they're the only team with 4 players up. And this is still only stage 6. This is wild.
Yeah, I think with this zone, I give it a little bit more of credit with just, a lot of this is just flat ground. There's not really many buildings and stuff you could play without you slamming like what YKG's done. And most of these teams will at least fight you for it. And Jackie's going for the fight right now. The S12 gets 1. His teammate's right behind him in the back. Gets a second, I think. Oh, man. Joey clutching it up for the squad. His name time and time again, Jukes. The guy that I want up is always Joey. And he just proves it. The work he's put in, the effort that's been made, slaughtering old gangsters. So for them, they lose one, but it's insane.
That was wild. Way too close for comfort, Joey. Come on. I mean, that's crazy. 4v2. They still lose a player in that 4v2. They almost get wiped completely. But heck, what can you say, right? DBS, shotgun, CQC action, anything can happen. And now we're going to watch Beast get some nice shots onto Fantasy. He sees the other one. Goes on to Darwin. And, not able to make that little flick in time. Goes for the quick finish and gets it. Now it's time to pre-fire. But, Darwin said, I got to get some of that revenge. Sweet, sweet revenge.
Yeah, I mean, the Scar is definitely not the gun of choice for me to do that. But he made it look easy with the 4X. And YKG now, I mean, they're 3 up. 2 solos. They know where Darwin's at least, so it's a matter of where the last player is. And unfortunately for these squads, Darwin just hit some amazing shots, but I don't think they're really going to be able to do any on a squad like YKG.
Yeah, this is all YKG chicken dinner right here. So hey, they could end it with double digits. They could end it with double digits and take it to the bank. So very, very nice for them. And honestly, a must-need win. A must-need win. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. 4-1-2 Nomads are in such a lead, right, that it's going to still be pretty tough for YKG to come back. I mean, they still put 5 points on this game, so that's going to hedge their bets a little bit. But, if YKG finish both of these eliminations, that's going to be 21 points, and that's really good.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's YKG's discussion of, okay, are we really going to be playing for fun, or are we gunning it for first? Because if you're gunning it for first, I mean, right now you've had 2 days of play where you could go back and kind of analyze what the Nomads are doing and stuff like that. Maybe rotate into them and take the fight. Because YKG is a team that is comfortable taking those 4v4s, first zone, and look at that. Fierce and a little bit of emotes going on. I was never too crazy about using emotes in game, but I always liked trying to pan people. So hopefully we could see that. Not the run over, but the jump out and maybe throw in melee like what Joey did. I think it was in one of the Titan Series tournaments he did that.
Oh, yes, dude. The
maybe do it again
pan,
in PMCO.
Which was so sick.
Yep. The pan. That's what we need.
Darwin,
Jukes, I've actually knocked someone with the throwing machete in scrims. Not too many people can say that. Yep, I've got the clip of it on the computer. It's the funniest thing I've ever done in this game, in the competitive sense at least. But Joey himself, I mean, he's one-upped it. He's done it in tournament play. And yeah, they're just waiting for the zone.
There they go. There they go. Let them know. Hey, just dancing in the moonlight. Look at them. Joey and squad just having fun here. And honestly, this is great because this is their last ride together. I mean, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
So, they know exactly where these final players are going to be, and they're just chilling. But I'll tell you what, I ain't going to say it, right? I can't even imagine them losing this game. If it happens, I will go crazy.
I'm just wanting it to be a melee finish. Maybe like you smoke the guy out and you punch him out. That would be insane. A punch out finish for the last match would be
it'd be brutal.
Icing on the cake. And at that point, I mean, if you're on, Saturn and you're the player Darwin getting punched out, like, are you even really too mad, or is it just like, okay, well, we knew we were gonna lose. I'll take the BM a little bit, and we'll just go on to the next day.
Yo, I don't think they're gonna spot Darwin here though. That's making me a little bit nervous. Darwin gonna be able to get so close to them. Because all it takes is one. Like they're so grouped up. Imagine just one perfect nade.
Well, we'll have to see. Hopefully, if Darwin has
Echo's
any
gonna
nades,
spot
but
him.
he's.
Echo's gonna spot him right here. Right when he crosses that
Oh
clearing.
wait.
Nope,
Oh,
he turned.
Oh. I
You
think
see that
someone's
now?
telling him. I think someone on his squad might have seen him, and he told him to turn right. Oh yeah, he did. Someone's
sees
seen him.
Got
Got
him! And now here they go and win the game. So YKG clutching up a sick chicken dinner there. And with that, I think they did get that last elimination. I'm not too sure. But still beautifully done for them, right? To be able to clutch up a chicken dinner like that. We said if they want to be able to get that first place, they needed one right here. It was necessary for there to even be a chance, and they got it.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's going into tomorrow thinking, are we really wanting to gun for Nomads and stuff like that? Which obviously I think they should. They're the only team other than Old Gangsters that even has a chance of beating them. And in my eyes, YKG on paper has better gun skill than Nomads. So I'd like to see them maybe even go out of their way and take the fight with Nomads early on, because we see here YKG obviously in first with 20 total points, Black Mamba in second with 12, and Old Gangsters in third. But down in sixth, with the Nomads, we're seeing 5 elimination points. So it's not that they're going out with 0 points like you want. They're going out with a few points that kind of saves their buffering that they've created over these first 2 days. So YKG, in my eyes, I'd like to see them gun for Nomads, maybe even drop on them at the start of the games, and just force Nomad out of their comfort zone in some way to try to take that $6,000.
Yeah, that's going to be catching up to that buffer. 15 points difference right there between them two. Looking at the second half right here, Level X, man, going out early. It's your Waste fan club. I mean, C4 again. See, this was not C4's day, right?
Yeah.
I think C4 just got caught out in so many tough spots and weren't able to really bounce back. But I think we definitely saw some really good rising stars here, right? I think we saw Blue Tiam overall today did really, really solid. And honestly, I'm going to be really looking forward to the leaderboards to see just like where everybody's standing going to go in tomorrow.
Yeah, Blue Tiam's just the name for it. They've had a lot of good elimination games. Obviously, it's been more so the placements. That's been a little bit of a question mark. But the overall right now, we're seeing Nomads in first, of course, 86 total points. YKG under Old Gangsters, surprisingly still. I thought they would have passed up second and third place for them. But Blue Tiam now, your team, Jukes, fourth place, 40 elimination points. It's not like they're doing it off placement here.
Man, this is just a crazy leaderboard right here. Got to give a big shout out to my boy Olim and 412 Nomads, just doing so well in this tournament. All they got to do is be consistent here. I mean, YKG with that 20-point game have now put themselves in position to even contest them, right? I mean, what's that, 18-point difference? 18-point difference is not unreachable, especially in 4 games. One more chicken dinner like this, and if 412 Nomads have a bad game, they're going to be in trouble. But honestly, they have such a great buffer here. All 412 has to do is put consistent points on the board. The issue, though, is that there's 15 teams in this lobby, and YKG, I think, is only going to be concerned about a couple of teams here. So the homework, I think, is definitely going to get done, and I want to see some crazy shakeups happen tomorrow because we're looking all the way at the bottom here, Enigma, and Jerway's fan club is just within that cutoff with 42 points, and the finest 4 is right behind them with 36.
Yeah, I mean, it can go from the finest 4 all the way down to Level X even. We know Level X had a really good game yesterday, but today it was more so just maybe a few elimination points here and there. But all these teams still 13th and up, in my eyes, have every bit of chance of, one win gets you right up there in that 8th place. So if I'm Jerway's fan club, if I'm the 7th place team as well, I'm thinking, okay, we really need to have a good day tomorrow. And, maybe that pressure breaks some of these players' minds and their mentals when they go into the game. Maybe they choose to hesitate more. And that's what I love about this sort of tournament play is we're going into the last day. People really get to experience what that pressure is like and if you're actually able to handle it. So obviously tomorrow will be, the day that everyone's, the day of reckoning, I guess you could say, for these teams, and hoping that you grasp one of those top 8 spots. Because after today, a lot of these lower teams moved up on the leaderboard, making it not so comfortable if you're in that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th place position on the leaderboard.
100%. Well, guys, tomorrow is that final day, the reckoning, as Enigma just said right here. So, guys, make sure you mark your calendars. Make sure you're following all the socials. And, of course, use that hashtag PMCO. I want to know which one of those teams at the bottom you think are going to be able to clutch it up tomorrow and sneak their way into that top 8. Because it's going to be a close one. Not to mention, first place is on the line. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been Hot Chooks here with Enigma. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bring the band in. Woo! Well, all right. Yeah, they want me to fit in, but I can't. I'm too different with it. Too advanced to think. You know my intuition. I got bars and ink, but never in a prison. Too far gone, never gonna sit and listen. This is optimism mixed with the best. You get it? What you're seeing is a beast in the flesh. I'm vetted up. I don't need to try to speak for the rest. Always keep it abrupt. They wanna keep it a mess, you know. This is what you get when you're sitting as a vet. But everybody know that you're a threat. With the rest, let's go. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit in your box. No, we don't quit, we won't stop. No, ride us all to the top. Oh, we won't fit in your box. No. Look, I try to tell you we don't fit in your box. Why you try to box me and I got the key to unlock? I know the locksmith, optics, speak of the loss. I'm eating lobster, chopsticks, freaking the boss, you know. I'll never fit in where I go at. Ooh, boss talk like I'm Boaz. Ooh, why fit in when you know you can stand out still? They remember. where you hand out deals. Let's go. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit in your box. No, we don't quit, we won't stop. No, ride us all to the top. Whoa. We won't fit in your box. No. Don't box me in. I do my own thing. Spirit is right within. I got my own way. Riding is not within. Look at the way that I do my ops again. Oh, better let me loose. You know that I got the juice. Everything I got to do. Words that I speak out my mouth, I gotta move. Oh, we can't fit in your box. We're too cold and you know. We won't fit in your box. We don't quit, we won't stop. Ride us all to the top. We won't fit in your, we won't fit in your, we won't fit